nation, destroys our generation. I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind. Looking for inspiration in my life, looking for inspiration all the time, looking for, looking for, looking for, looking for, hey!
Welcome everyone. We got a little bit of try to get that record scratch in there like that, but yeah, we're having Spline Design Studios Saturday on a Thursday. Unheard of. Welcome everybody coming in the stream. Glad that anybody can make it. Still trying to get some things lined up here. Let me get some background music going here. Okay, so doing a little bit of fumbling here, I guess, to get things going. But I think we're good to go. We're gonna whirl with this. Trying to do a little bit of a makeup deal here, I guess, with I think this is too loud. Let me bring this down and bring this up a touch. Somehow that got turned down. Do let me know if the audios are too loud, not loud enough. Adjust those accordingly, but I think that should be good. The stream's going solid. I'm still getting some things loaded, so just bear with me a few. Try to get this going a little bit earlier than 5 p.m. But yeah, that should work. Okay. I got some new toys. Well, at least one new toy, at least anyway, as far as graphical overlays. As far as when we go testing into the track. As far as the Northworks will track build, or any track build for that matter. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I've kind of put together some things. Found a new graphic that'll work a little bit better, I guess, than what we were trying to do previously. So, just trying to get the audio level set here. Okay, everything's still loading. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring this over right away. Alright, so one of the things I was looking at here, I can kind of clue everybody in on this. Let's, it still does have to do with the Northworks World Tracks build for the NASCAR Racing 2003, for sure. One of the things I was considering, I had talked with James prior to this off stream there, as far as it gets me some ideas here. So with that, came to the conclusion of, I got a picture here. So one of the things we want to focus on is just small, you know, the really finer details, I guess, as far as the track's concerned. One of them being this wooden tower that's on the outside of turn 4. So that's one of them. I got lots of pictures, I guess, based on this. Did a lot of Googling and found some pretty nice pictures, to be honest, and just to kind of go through here. But this is one of the items. Some really nice close-up shots from all around the track, actually. This one in particular is another shot of it. This would be this thing, and it's made out of wood. So, it'd be a rather simple object. And there's also one in the infield. I don't think I have them in this plethora of pics, but just kind of look through here real quick. I do have another shot if I don't have it in here. Some really good shots here, though. It would be just out of frame over here on the right side of this building. There's that stand, but there's another stand in the infield, and I don't think I have it in any of these shots. Okay, let me put this back on this shot. Keep that one there. I'm pretty sure I've got it opened up in here. So there's a closer shot of that there. Here's the infield one. So the infield one is a little bit shorter than the one on the outfield. This one's a little bit taller, but it's a little bit shorter, you know, height-wise. But they're both made out of wood, and this would be a very simple object. Probably just use just a box structure with the transparency on the texture to, you know, allow for, I guess, the steps and the railings that are on it. It's nothing entirely too complicated. If I go into the texture, I did start building a texture somewhat here. I already know I'm going to need to have transparency in it, so I've already applied the magenta. That fancy pink color, I guess we're commonly see, I guess, in the textures for the MIP files for NASCAR Racing 2003 season. I've also picked out an aged and or weathered wood texture, and we can apply different layers to this, you know, as far as paint and what have you, if we so choose, in the process of this. The way these two stands show currently, they are pretty beat up as far as yeah, being weathered. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture here, but they are pretty well aged. It's got some warping and stuff like that. We're not going to necessarily apply the warping to it. We're going to keep it, you know, relatively fresh, if you will, I guess, as far as to make it look more. So as far as adding any warping to it, won't necessarily do that. Not quite that much detail. This was pretty straight. The one in the infield. Grabbed that off a YouTube thumbnail, actually. That's the closest picture I could find of this one here, besides from the other direction, which would be just out of frame of this one. I cropped this one out just to kind of focus on that one. But there's another picture that I have, and it was based on another, worked on the flag stand. It's actually part of that picture. I just wanted to crop this out just to kind of focus on what we're going to be doing here today, this evening. So, probably start off, some of the other things I guess I've prepped here is a folder to work out of. I have created a, somewhat of a script for this too, because I want to add a population switch to this potentially. So I just kind of started that out a little bit. So to be able to turn some of these types of items off. OSHA approved, I take it. You know, as far as the stand there, torch, probably. I don't know. I think if they saw it in its current condition, yeah, they would say no. I would probably say they would say no. But anyway, yeah, I started up a makeshift, and I kind of used. I will have to make some edits to this if I do use this, as far as some of the containers and the pass file and all that good stuff. But I did start writing this out somewhat to potentially use this as a script. Whether or not we'll apply a weekend stitch or a population switch was still yet to be determined. But I wanted to at least get this somewhat in the makings. Try to make this object as simple as possible. It would be two objects, essentially. So I've set up this folder here to work out of as far as the media towers. Let's see. So I got the two images there. I got those loaded up in here, actually. So we need to start building this thing. So one thing, just to get myself acclimatized, you know, kind of figured out how the size of this as far as how tall, one of the things I considered in the process of going through this is to kind of use one of these buildings, these pit buildings that have been previously made by James. You can use this as a guide as far as how tall this thing would be. From what I can tell, and this information isn't necessarily available in the LiDAR, that was the other thing I was looking at too. It's not very definitive, I guess, in the LiDAR as far as how tall this, where this stand actually is, for example. So the next thing I considered was to use a building that has a height to it and use that as a guide as far as the height of this thing, the overall size of it too. So the infield fence is 10 feet tall. That's another good point. So this infield fence is 10 feet. So we're looking at, this is a pretty grainy picture, but you can kind of see where the top of the fence is. So this is probably a 12-foot structure, roughly. It's only about 2 feet taller than the fence. You can kind of see just barely. If you zoom in, it's just a pretty grainy picture, like I said, but the top of the fence is right about even with the platform itself, so it probably extends up in about another 2 or 3 feet. So it's probably 12 to 13 feet overall tall. But I can use that, between things like that and the height of, say, this building as a guide. And what I did actually prior to start a stream was to open that building up here, and I'm going to spit this out as a 3DS just to use it as a scale, if you will, as far as that's all it's going to be used for, just a placeholder within 3ds Max in an effort, and that's only going to solidify or justify, I guess, as far as what height we're actually at, as far as in comparison to the height of the fence and so on. I could even go so far as to take the fence out if I wanted to and use that as a guide. I'm thinking this structure is going to be what we're going to need, or pretty darn close as far as the height of this. Probably a good 13 feet tall, possibly. This might only end up being 10 feet itself. James might know a little bit more about that since you constructed it, right, James? I'm going to find out here in a minute. How about that? I can find out here pretty darn quickly. So if I spit this out as go to export, I'm using the 3D SimEd utility. I'll just spit this out as a 3DS. 10 foot with the 6-inch roof. Okay. So that's probably going to be pretty close to the little bit more, or give or take, I guess, the height of the fence, which will give me some reference, I guess, anyway, as far as what I need it to be. Oh, you got something for the Turn 4 building. Oh, you got a Twitter link there. Let me check that out. In fact, speaking of Twitter, I didn't put my fancy dancy tweet out, I guess, to let everybody know that the stream is live. Let me get this going here. Just a moment, folks. So let me do this. Yeah, the fact that we're doing this on a Thursday, kind of making up for not being able to do the normal stream, I guess, on Saturday. So, yeah. Just a minute. Yeah, let's go. Gotta get my tweet out. There we go. I made a special, yeah, there we go. Let's do that. Let's let all the peeps know. Like I said, I was fumbling a little bit, I guess, to get the things, trying to get things going. So, bear with me, I guess, as far as if I work these out here a little bit, real quick. So I do paste. I'll put this out on the social medias. Let everybody know we're out here. Good deal. Alright, so that's good. What does James got here? Oh, that's actually pretty cool. See, and this is what I consider on that picture that you just posted there, James, as far as on the Twitter. As far as the banners that get put on that, that's why I do necessarily consider, I guess, as far as putting a weekend switch on it, because you would have a presentation of these, at least like the outside tower with some banners on it and one without, as far as during testing. So that's why I've loosely constructed that script, I guess, to allow for some things like that. A banner object for the fence too. Yeah, we can probably look at some of these things. So I'm looking at these banners. That's actually a good picture. Let me do this. I'm going to save this one too. That's actually a good pick. Good to reference. Yeah, I did not find that in my Googlings. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in our working folder here. Oh, I see what it did. I see you. Alright, so let's get out of this. I'm just saving that picture there that you posted on the tweeters, James. Appreciate that. I can probably use that as a guide as far as putting some type of banners on that. You know, with a weekend switch perchance. So yeah, staying right into it here. I'm gonna export this out. Now I know I can make a ruler. I could probably make a ruler. In fact, I will. Once I get into 3ds Max, I can make a ruler based on the height that I would want it, which is probably about 13 feet. But I can use this as a guide to make sure that I'm just a reference, nothing more. But I want to export this out. That's what I want to do. So if I go, where's my export options? 3ds. There's my 3ds. So I'm going to export out this as a 3ds using 3D SimAd utility. And I can just put this on the desktop. That's fine. It'll be a throwaway. Just something to use as a reference, and doesn't matter. Just give me a 3ds. There we go. That's all good to go. So let's spit that out as a 3ds. I've already got Max open here. And I'm going to go ahead and import that 3ds in here. And I'm going to make, like I said, a ruler that's 13 foot high. Length doesn't really matter, just as long as it's 13 foot high, so I can at least get that scale correct. And then we'll work on the lengths and so on. I guess the other dimensions of those two things. So the pit gate's right here in the 3ds. And I want to do that. So there's our item there. So now what I can do, just to verify how tall this is, James has already confirmed nicely this is 10 foot with a 6 foot roof. So I'm going to make a plane. This is a really standard plane here, and I'm going to set this all to 1. Don't need all this. Don't need 4. That's just the default. So these banners don't look to be on the fence. I'm not really sure. I know there is a billboard out there, but as far as they usually have those tie-on banners, you know, on the fence, those types of things. Yeah, and here it doesn't show anything. There is a billboard that's here that's blank, just to kind of give you some reference too. Obviously, this is that Goodyear sign is very pristine though. Surprisingly, based on everything else that's around the track, this Goodyear sign is actually pretty pristine. We're gonna keep it focused on that. But I do have that picture now. Let me see if I want to verify that I did save that. So I got my where's my working folder? Media Towers. That would be this deal right here. This is the one I got out off of James's tweets. So these banners right here, yeah, from that angle it is kind of hard to tell whether or not those are on the fence. I would say there probably are though, because you can see the fence posts like right there, and they're probably those tie-on type. You know, they just kind of tie on, just like these banners up on this. Yeah, I have seen them that way too in plenty of other pictures. So yeah, we got that picture saved. I'll probably focus on this infield one first, yeah. And then we'll get onto this. Once we get that one established, then we can work on this one. It'll be relatively very simple models. Oh, right. Yeah, those there, I'm not 100% sure. You can't really tell based on this picture. They could be on the fence. I want to say they probably are. These goodies ones. Almost looks like they're tied onto the fence. Looking close enough there, they kind of do look like that way. But yeah, these are definitely tied on as far as the ones on this here. For sure. But I want to say these probably are too. Cool. Okay. We're going to focus on this one. Whoops, my bad. Dang it. You're on the right one. We're going to focus on this one for now. The tops all follow the wooden fence. The tops of the banners, you mean? Oh, you got another link up there. Cool. Let's see what you got. Did I keep that one open? I don't think I did. Oh, whoops. Wrong link. Yeah, I've got this this window open too. I was checking out some aged wood. This is kind of just a reference to Google search. It kind of gave me that information for that. But as far as, let's see what you got here, James. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so there's some of the references that I have for just Wilkesboro in general. Keep that on the desktop there. So you've got this link. Let's see what you got here. So this one. Let's see what we got here. Let's open this up. Yeah, so like these little deals here. So like this one's just kind of draped over, it looks like. There's that billboard that has nothing on it in the other picture. Yeah, all these little signs or whatever. Yeah, no, this one you can definitely tell it's kind of draped on the fence, the chain link. Actually, that's wooden fence, right? Yeah, this is all wooden fence. Yeah, this is all wooden fence. You can see that just barely, but yeah. It's kind of weathered up. It's kind of got some signatures, I guess, of being white, I guess, at one time. Oh, this is that one that's got a lot of dead space in it. That's right. Let's see if we can get this to move a light along. Which one you want on this one? Okay, let's go here. There we go. That was some of these songs in the playlist, I guess, from TeknoAXE. They have a lot of dead space in them for some reason. Don't know why, but that's okay. We'll work through those. Alright, so yeah, this is a pretty good pick too. Whether or not we'll get to that, our main focus, I guess, for this stream would just be to get those two media towers, I guess, built. And like I said, they are pretty simple objects. So, all right, that's going good. Yeah, bots are still not working. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna hire myself a new bot, I guess, for the live streams, because the one I've been trying to use, I guess, for across the social medias, it's not working very well. So that's just afterthought, I guess, as far as streaming goes. It's kind of making me it's upsetting me a little bit, because I set everything up as far as the best I know how, and it's pretty crazy. But everything else seems to be going good. So what we got in here in Max, we got the 3DS model of that pit gate building, that little infield building, and it's centered here. What I can do is I got this set up to make a plane. So right here and here, I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this out, and I want to set this. Actually, I want to bring up another window here. I'm gonna bring up my converter. So I'll do. Let's bring the Mountain to Mojave here. As far as the keyboard, I had the racing wheel. I was testing out the overlay. I might get a chance to show that what I'm dealing with here, but it's a pretty nice overlay, and it's been available actually for quite a while, since about like 2015. It's been used by a lot of sim racers. It has the ability of being able to apply a clutch and or just sequential, as far as you got a paddle shifter. So it's kind of very nice. So hopefully I'll get a chance to show that. So anyway, I want to show, I gotta go like this. Need this little converter deal. Now we're looking for probably 13 feet. Yep, so we'll do this in meters. We'll copy this value to give ourselves a starting point on the on our things here. So we want to go, that's probably going to be on the length. So I'll do a paste. Okay, so that's representative of 13 feet this way. I'm going to do an angle snap to get this standing upright. Let's get her to 90 degrees. There we go. And then I want to put this. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll snap the pivot actually too. So I'll do effect pivot, and I'm gonna do a snap. I'll probably have to do an edge snap actually. I'll snap it right down there. It doesn't matter if it's centered. I just want it on that edge. That way it'll give me a that's 0 as far as the pivot. That's basically what I'm going for. Okay, so now if I zero this out, which it should be 100% zeroed, so that's all at 0. Alright, hold on. Why is that not working? It's not doing like I thought. What did I snap that to? Hold on a minute. Nope. Didn't snap it right. So I didn't get it to the edge. Hold on a minute. Let's try that again. So do effect pivot. See if we can get that snap to... Huh, that's kind of wonky. Hold on a minute. There we go. When it turns green like that, that's how you know it's snapped. So as long as that's on that edge, that's what I want. That's all I was looking for. Now I can zero this out. Now I know that's at 0. So now this should be roughly 3 foot higher than this building. If I bring it up next to it. So that's going to be representative of roughly 3 foot higher than this building. This would be 10 foot and a half, 10 foot 6 inches. And I can actually put that to... Okay, I'm going to go back to that picture now. Let's go back here. I know this one's got to be taller than that. But I'm almost also wondering if this one's actually the same height on the top rail as the roof here. So it might be the 10 foot 6. That's what I'm trying to determine, I guess, at this point. It almost looks to me like this is going to be taller than this building. This building is what I have in here as far as this 3DS, this 3D model here. That's representative of this building right here, in case we're ever wondering. So also that might be about right, because again, if we consider the fence is at 10 foot, so this height that I've got this set to is probably going to be pretty damn close as far as how much more above the fence that the top of the structure is. So yeah, that's going back to what I said initially, I guess, as far as trying to determine the height of this thing. We already know the height of this fence is 10 foot, right? So if we set this to 13, that's about the top rail of this here. So I suspect the floor you stand on is around 12, probably. So what I was thinking here is there's probably a good 30 inches or so, 30 to 32 inches between the floor here and the top of the rail. That's pretty standard, I guess, for, you know, railings, I guess, on, be it on decks or anything like that. That's kind of what I think, or, you know, just using common building practices anyway. So this height here is probably roughly 30 to 32 inches, so just under 3 foot. So overall, if this is 10 foot to here, that's going to be another 3 foot. To me, that seems to be right around 13 feet. overall, roughly, give or take. That's what I'm contemplating at this point. So the fact that we don't know, using common building practices, the heights of other things that we do know, and so on and so forth, you can kind of determine where this needs to be. So what I'm going to do with all that information known, I'm going to build a box. And like I said, this is going to be a very simple structure. Not a whole heck of a lot of detail to it. We'll have some transparency applied to it in the form of an alpha channel. So yeah, detective work of track making is absolutely. Alright, so I'm going to make a simple box. Like so. And I'm just going to draw this out. And I can change the size of it. Just want to get it initially laid out. So we know this is at 10'6". And I can adjust the size of this as I need to. I'm going to change the color of this actually. Give it some contrast. So let's go into the material editor. And I just want to make a swath here or whatever. This is a little bit different contrasting color though. Let's beef this up a little bit. There we go. So now if we make, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's make the ruler that color. Hello? Click out of that. There we go. And make sure, because whenever your boxes over here are still highlighted, you want to make sure you right click out of that to make sure, once you got it all set, just right click out of that. That's all that takes. Alright, so I'm going to apply this color to the ruler. Like so, just to give it some contrast so I can tell which one's which. Let me kind of mesh these things together. Alright, so let's grab this. Put this up against here. So you can kind of see how these rulers work. I've kind of shown this before. It doesn't really matter as far as how long that is. What I'm really trying to get right now is the height. So I want to get the height. So at this point, I can actually get that value. One way I can do this, a couple of different ways I can do this actually. One way I can do this is to actually look in the height parameters of this here, so we know that's 13 feet. I can copy this value. We've already gotten this value from our little convert deal here. That's what we copied into there to get that height. So I can just either copy it from there or from the converter there, and I want to apply that same value to the height here. Okay, and all that's going to do is just confirm that I've got that same height. So this is just kind of like a secondary, just to kind of justify, I guess, the fact that that is the right height. So we got our height for the box. Now we want to determine the length of this thing. So this is just kind of rough. It is definitely longer than this building that we've got in here to reference. So this thing is probably, if I had to guess, here, let me make another ruler here. We can kind of get some ideas here. I might even have this pretty close. Here, this ruler might be pretty close to the length that we actually need. In fact, let's do that. Let's go into this box. Just kind of see what we have here. So what I can do is drag this width. It's not going to be centered. I can actually center this. Center to that. And let's get this completely zeroed out. Actually, I don't need it on the height. Okay, one thing I can do is let's affect the pivot here again really quick. And we're going to snap to this edge. You can see how it turns green. So I know that's snapped, and then I'll just zero this out. So I want to keep this at 0. So now I got it flat on the 0, I guess on the bottom, and it's centered in every direction basically. Alright, now I'm going to recenter this pivot like so. Cool. I can leave it there, but it's, for the purposes of doing this, I'm going to do it this way. 30 foot long in Google Earth. And that was something else I was considering too, now that you said that, James, as far as to actually look at it in Google Earth. Could necessarily use that too, as opposed to just guessing. I was going to bring that up there. I got so many applications open now, I didn't want to crash the stream. There is a new, and I'm sure we're probably aware of it, there is a web version, I guess, of the Google Earth that's still in development. It's still relatively beta, but it does give you the option to actually measure. I should probably actually see if that'll work. Let me see if this will load. Yeah, let me try this here. So let me go to my sources here. I should have it bookmarked, actually. Give me a second here. If I go here and go to here, I'm gonna see if this actually will work. This is really nice. I have tried this once before already. It's really nice. They do have the Google Earth application that you can run from the desktop. This one here, you can search right from. Let me see if this will actually work. So if they will let me do a search. But this is a really nice utility when it does work. But as it says, you're currently running an experimental version, so it's not 100% done. I guess you can say it's still in development. Let's do this. So if I type this in, this is kind of what I use too, I guess, if I get some of my picture references too prior to start the stream. So you can use it not only for, you gonna go there? There we go. So it should zoom into it. So it actually brings up some information here as far as, say, the speedway. Very good resource. Alright, so it did actually zoom here, so let's see if I can stop it. Cool. So here's the speedway. And what's really cool, I haven't tried this with this track yet, but there is a means of being able to, I can't remember how to spin though. Let's go to 3D. That's 2D. I want to go to 3D. Trying to remember how to, hold on a second. There is a means of being able to place yourself actually on the premises. Okay, so there's no street data. Okay, so I can't do that, unfortunately. That's a bummer. But if there was a street available here, you'd actually be able to go to the street view, and you can actually see the 3D structures. But here's that structure that we're trying to work with here. And if I go to 2D, we can get the top-down view of this. And what else you can do in here, bring this little ruler up so we can kind of see the shadow of it. This thing here, if we were to measure this out, comes out, this is in meters obviously, 9.62 meters. Let's unclick. Hello? There we go. Just double click on that. So 9.62 meters. I think you can switch this to feet. Yes, you can, right in here. So that comes out 32 feet. That seems long. Does that seem about right? It's about 30 foot. You said 30 foot, James. So I'm getting about 32, so it's probably give or take. I might be grabbing a little bit more than I need to. So probably in between 30 and 32 feet for this structure. We could probably split it in the middle and probably put it like at 31. Because I think I've probably grabbed a little bit more than I need to in this. Yeah, because I think what I'm including in here is the steps. So probably the actual platform might be about 30 foot, but it's probably another 2 foot or so for the steps. Because they are on an angle, as you can see here. So from here to the other end is about 32 foot is what I got. Yeah, the top rail, yeah, as far as in here. You can see kind of where I've got that. That's kind of almost where I've got that. It's kind of the shadow of it, actually. So 32 foot seems to be a pretty reasonable bet. Now, I could go by the shadow, too. But I don't know if that's... that might be hard to go by. This is the shadow right here. I'm going to go on a limb here and just kind of say it's right, probably about 32 foot. Yeah. That's the shadow, though. That's not the actual structure. So that's probably going to be stretched. You know, it's going to be kind of probably scrunched, depending on the orientation of the sun. It might be a little bit stretched, and it might, you know, it might even be distorted, if you will. And what I'm going by here is, let's see if I can clear this, actually. Can I clear this? Actually, I can just move this. My bad. Let's do it like this. See, and James is probably not too far off. It's probably about 30 foot. That's 30 foot right there. And you can kind of see the end of it right here. And the end of it right there. It's pretty distorted a little bit. But it's not too bad. It's probably not too far off, James. So I'll say 30 foot. 30 foot sounds good. That's what we'll go with. So 30 foot long, 13 foot high. Now the width of it, you could probably get that from here too. You can see that well enough here too. So if we go like this, let's reposition this. You kind of see the platform here. That's about 7 foot. We're about 7 foot that way and 30 foot that way. Okay. So now we got our dimensions. We can apply those. So we can go 30 foot this way, which translates to, got everything in meters, you know, as far as the unit's set up on here. So we want to, I'm going to turn that down just a tad. That seems to be a little loud, so I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Do let me know in the chat if the audios are either too loud, not loud enough, what have you. I'm kind of adjusting as I go here. I kind of screwed up, I guess, all the settings that I had there with trying to get some things set up for today. A little bit different, I guess, for I was going to change the the bottom overlay, I guess, in the bottom. I just didn't get to it. It's still relatively going to count as a Spline Design Studios Saturday, since I won't be able to stream this Saturday. So I kind of figured out I don't need to change really everything, although it would have been kind of nice. So just some afterthoughts, I suppose. Alright, so where we're at now, we want to get this to 30 foot. Right, so we want to go to, hold on a minute, this tab, go to here, and we want to set this up for 30 foot. So we need 9.144. We're going to copy this value. Okay, copy that value, go into max here, and I'm going to put that as the width here. So paste that into here. So that's our 30 foot. Okay, that's a lot shorter than I thought. What do I got this set at? Just out of curiosity. What do I got my ruler set at? Just out of curiosity. I'm going to copy this. Just curious as to what I got this set at, just to give me an idea. So paste this into here and just remove the M. So I got that set at 63 foot. A little over 63 foot. So yeah, I got a pretty long. So yeah, this ruler is representative of 63 foot, just for reference there. So it's about a little bit more than twice the length of the 30 foot that we actually need. Okay, but we got our height, we got our length here. Now we need to get our width here, which is 7 foot. Go with 7 foot. So we're gonna put in here 7 foot, which is 2.1336 in meters. So copy that. Yep, so go to this box and put that on. It should be this value. Paste that. Alright, so that's what we're looking at. Pretty narrow, actually. And that's kind of what I guess I expected. It's pretty narrow. and tall, I guess you could say. That's kind of what we got here. So we got a narrow and tall. Okay, and that's pretty much going to be the, how do I want to put this? That's pretty much going to be the nature, I guess, of this object. This is going to be a simple box. As far as how we'll do with steps, I haven't 100% factored that in yet. I'm almost thinking of just putting like simple planes with a straight plane. You know, so just now that I say that, I got a pretty good idea now. Now that I think of it, I got a couple of different ideas. I could probably do a yeah. Now that I think this through, I could probably make a poly off this edge here, and then a poly coming off of this here, and just put it on an angle. And then I can apply, I guess, whatever. Because I'm going to be using a lot of transparency in this, so lots of alpha channel, if you will. Make it for a very simple, it's a very, very, very simple object. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hide all this stuff at this point. Don't need it. We've got our basic structure here. I'm gonna get this thing centered. Okay. Back pivot. Go ahead and center that. Make sure it's centered. And yep. The only thing we're not centered on is our bottom here, which that's only because of how we got this position here. So that's going to be fine. That will be fine. So from here, what we can do, I'm going to add an editable poly modifier, like so. And then on the one edge here, like I said, I think what I'm going to do, I think this makes sense. I'm going to go to edge, and I'm going to create a poly based on this edge on an angle. Whoops, my bad. I got to detach that first. That's what I forgot. I need to go by poly, detach it. Where's my detach? Really? There it is. A little bit different here because I still have the box. I'm still in a box. So when you apply it in this fashion here, your detach will be in a little bit different situation. Usually it'll be up here if you got it completely as an editable poly. So that's what I had to search for this. So I can detach this poly. Oops, my bad. Did that detach? I don't think it did. Just a minute. Got ahead of myself. Alright, select that. I think it did attach. Yep, so that's now detached. This is now detached. So now what I can do is go to edge, like this, with that being attached. I think that's selected. And then shift drag this out, like so. And I can adjust these things as I go. I also want to extend, you'll understand the method of my madness here in a moment. I'm going to extend this out. It will all make sense here in just a moment. Alright, so now I'm going to take these verts, take these two verts, bring those down like so. Leave a little bit of clearance there, and I can take these verts, bring that down, and then what I can do is snap those to the height of that. I want to leave a little bit of clearance there because it's usually like, you know, a step and then you go to the ground. It doesn't go all the way to the ground, although I could do that if I wanted to. Just kind of snap those all the way in there. We'll see how this looks, actually. We'll go from there. I could probably bring it all the way down like so. That seems a little too steep to me, actually. So I'd probably go like this. And then go ahead and do, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to do a vert snap to that. And to this one. like so. And then I can create another poly based off this edge. So go back into edge, turn that off, shift drag this out, and then vert snap these together. And I can adjust these after the fact too if I need to, but I think that's not too bad. So that gives us our stairs, and basically all we'll end up doing is just applying, and you know, it's a simple texture to this with a trans to it to give us our see-through effect and what have you, as far as to give the railing. There's a little bit of a railing on here and stuff like that. It almost looks like this is inset. Now they look at this again. So the stairs are actually inset. You can kind of see there. So here's the end of it, and it's kind of inset here a little bit. I could probably depict that. It shouldn't be entirely difficult. Let me see here. Try not to make this too complicated. I do know one thing. I'm going to get rid of these polys on the bottom. We don't need those. Don't need this one on the bottom. That one don't need for sure. So let's highlight that, get rid of that. So now what I'm contemplating. Alright, how do I get to that poly? Oh, that's right, I detached that. That should still be there though. Let me see here. Oh, I know why. That's in here. That's why. So I gotta delete this poly. We don't need this poly. Okay. Now it's just a matter of determining how do I want to depict. I could put a cut in here. Put a little bit of a definition here because I want to get the steps actually to be inset. So what I initially think of is doing a swift loop, probably in 2 directions, just so I can make that cutout for that there. Let's see. Yeah, so in order to get this cutout to inset these steps here, I can do 2 cuts. I can do 1 cut vertically and 1 cut this way, so that I can get that area chunked out, I guess, if you will. Okay. Let me try a couple things here. So there's probably more than one way I can go about this. I'm just trying to think of what the best way would be. I think the other thing I will do is collapse this together. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take this and this, collapse this together. Now it's all one piece. Now it's all one piece. There we go. So that should be centered as well. Just double check to make sure this is centered. There we go. And I'm gonna zero this out. Cool. Just making sure it's centered. Zeroed out. And alright, now I'm thinking as I do this here. I don't know if I want to do swift loop. Let's try this for a second. Swift loop, I keep coming back to that idea, so let's do a Shift S. That'll enable that. Let's turn this off. Okay, why didn't it Shift S? Hello? What the heck? Oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. Wrong key goes for Shift S. Or is it Control S? I do Shift F or Control S. I forgot. I can't remember what I set it to. Crap. Can't remember what I set it to. I thought it was Shift S. Oh boy. I know we have this Oh, for crying out loud. Let me go into here really quick. Shoot, I forgot what it's under as far as to set up the... I thought it was Shift S. I don't know why it's not working. Shift S. Here, let me convert this to a Nebel Poly. That's probably why. And I've mentioned this before, as far as like when you convert to a Nebel Poly, you can do a lot more with it than that. So Shift S. There we go. So yeah, that was probably why it wasn't letting me. It was just a regular mesh. So when you convert it to a editable poly, you get more options. One of them being the Swift Loop. So now that I got it as an editable poly, I can apply my shortcut that I got for the Swift Loop, which is Shift S for me. You can set that up how you wish. So now I can cut this. I'm going to split it right about there, and this way as well. Right about there, and I can move that that dimension there if I need to. So let's get out of that. So now I got this area defined as far as where I can potentially cut this out per se. Alright, so now I have the option. Let's see what I got here. I need to get this at the level there. So I was thinking, we were talking about that earlier. As far as the height of this platform to here, it's probably roughly 30 inches. Thereabouts, 30 to 32 inches. So what I want to do is create a ruler, or at least use the ruler that I had here, and set this to... Yeah, I'll just use this ruler like this and actually rotate it 90 degrees this way. Let's do an angle snap. Let's go 90 degrees this way. Like so. And then I want to change the length of this. We don't need it this long. Alright, so now I want to make this... We're going to go 30 inches tall. I'll have to probably change this. Yeah, so let's go meters, feet, and inches. Let's try this here. Oh, that didn't work. Let me see. Feet and inches. So I wonder if I can put in here. Yeah, let's just do it this way. So if we go to inches, we need it to be 30 inches. So that comes out to be this in meters. Okay, that's what I need. So I'll transfer that to... Nope, that's the wrong one. Cool. Not bad. Stretch that back out. Wrong one. It doesn't have a height on this one here, so that's what was screwing me up. Alright, so that's 30 inches. See, now what I can do is I can use this ruler to determine... I'm going to actually center this. Let's do this. Center. Make it easier to work with. So now... I want to move this up here like so. Now to ensure I've got this at the absolute top, I'm going to actually just apply a edit poly to this one here. I need to get the vertex, that's the Z on this vertex for this object. So if I go to vert, just grab any one of these top ones, grab that Z value. And then in here, I can vertex. I don't want to change. Okay, I know what I did wrong. Hold on, got ahead of myself. I need to set this pivot, effect pivot only, and I want to snap it to this bottom edge. So put this on edge snaps here. See how that turns green? Now it doesn't matter as far as this way. I just need it on that edge. Get that zeroed out like that. So now when I go to apply, let's go back to here just to make sure I got the right value. So if I go to vertex here, grab this Z, go back to here, vertex here. Actually, I don't even need to go to vertex there. I just need to paste that Z into here. And that didn't do what I thought. Okay. I know exactly what I did wrong. Okay. So what that basically did when I did it that way, because I got the pivot right there, it's got this bottom edge at that point. That's not what I want. I want it actually on the top edge. So I'll remove this pivot. I want to snap it to the top edge here. So I'm trying to show some versatility, I guess, of what you can do with this one here. So now, if I paste that Z for there, paste. What that'll do is it'll put that top edge to the top edge of where I want it. So now on this bottom edge, I can use that to place that line that I cut. So I know that's 30 inches from the top of that there. So it's by putting that pivot, I guess, where I need it to be. That's how I can ensure that I got it there instead of trying to line it up just by eyeballing it. Okay, so usually rulers to your advantage in that fashion. So now what I can do is go into here, and I can adjust this line to the bottom edge of that. And really, let me see here. If I get the Z of this one now, I'll probably have to move that again, which is fine. I'll go ahead and do that. Let's move this down. Hello? There we go. Let's put this back on this edge. I'll show you how I do this. So now I've got this set to this height. So I can copy that. Now I want to get this vert, all these verts here, at that level. So select this one here. Actually, I'll just click on it and set these verts to that level. So now what that's doing is it's snapping to that level where I've gathered that Z value on the ruler. I can put all these. Now I can do these all independently or just do them one at a time. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I'll just grab each one. That's to kind of show you how this works. But you can necessarily just grab them all. But this way I know from here to here is going to be 30 inches now based on the ruler. That's all I was trying to accomplish there. Okay. And what that's going to allow me to do in the form of texture mapping this, I'll be able to be very precise on that railing that's here to also include, I guess, what's below it. So even though it's a pretty simple model, you know, as far as just a box model, as far as how I'm able to texture it, I'll be much more efficient in that fashion. Okay. And this is not the only way you could do that too. You could necessarily do like a Boolean cut, just to give you that cut that I did the same way as the Swift loop. But either way. So again, all I'm doing is selecting all these verts independently just to kind of show how that adjusts to the ruler now. Don't have a lot of verts in this thing, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now I've got the height of that railing coming all the way through here. Now the other thing I want to do, this is where I feel will be a little bit of the tricky part. I'll probably detach all these pieces here just so I can hide it. So what I want to do now is be able to take this top piece for this stair and snap it to these two verts. So that way I can get that inset of that stairway. That's what I was trying to accomplish here. It's still going to be a relatively simple model, but it's, you know, just to add that little level of detail to it. I think it'll work. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is to select all these here and attach those. Yeah, that should be good there. So if I attach those, and this is what I was talking about, the difference between it being 100% editable poly with no box shape. You get the option for detach up here as opposed to further down your rollout. So I'm going to attach these as an object. Now I have the option of being able to hide this here for now, so I can get at this. Now what I want to do is snap these two verts to this, or I'm sorry, these two elevators. This is the top of my rail, is what that'll serve as. And then I'll be able to adjust all these other verts as I need to, I guess, to accommodate, I guess, the stairs going inward like that, being inset. And it'll make sense here in a minute. So if I go like this, I might have to, let me see here, what do I got attached? I got it all collapsed. I don't want to get rid of these because I want to use that. Main focus is here, I want to get these two verts snapped to down here. So I might just go ahead and detach this piece, this poly. This is actually flipped. Now I look at it. Let's see if I can flip that first. Should we go down here and flip that? That somehow got flipped, I guess, in the process. So not a big deal. We can fix that. So we'll go ahead and detach this now. Like so. And then we're going to take these two verts. Whoops, I got to get the end of the right piece. Make sure that's highlighted. Select these two verts. Actually, I'll do them one at a time. I can do them both at the same time, but just to kind of show, you know, hold your hand mode, as I usually try to do. I'm going to snap these right to here. You can see how it turns green. Now I've got that angle. Now I can probably adjust this as I need to. I think that's not quite the right angle that we need there. So I'll probably have to. Now this is the overall length. I don't want to lose this overall length, because that length, we need to maintain that. We already determined that to be 30 foot from this side all the way to the end of the stairs. So we don't want to lose that. Just want to get this angle somewhat set there. So I might have to adjust the platform, I guess, to adjust, you know, to accommodate, I guess, you know, making that angle, I guess, of the steps. So just keep in mind, I don't want to change the length of this, because that 30 foot, we want to maintain that. So if anything, I'll bring the platform, what would be otherwise the platform of this thing, I'll bring that closer out this way, and then I can adjust all these once I get that into place. Okay, so let's turn this off for a second. Don't need that. Now what I'll do is I'm going to make sure these are welded. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to my weld. That should be down here. And by doing that, then I know I can move this out. Like, oh, I forgot. That's actually a separate object. Yeah, so the weld won't work if you've got two separate objects. So in this case, I got this object, and I've got this object. So when you do a weld, that's not going to work that way. So in order to get that 100% together, I'm going to have to collapse these, which is not a big deal. So I'll go like this, select those two items. I want to leave these. I should probably go ahead and detach these right away now that I think of it. Let's do that first. So I wanted to attach this and this. Somehow these got flipped. I don't know why. Let's go ahead and flip these back. Yeah, somehow those two got flipped. And the way I can tell is it's darker. So the brighter highlight is going to be which direction the poly is facing. The darker is going to be the opposite side. The side you don't usually want a texture. I'm probably end up going to texture both of these. I'm not sure how that's going to work yet on that railing once we get to the texturing point. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and flip those like that, and then attach those like so. And I'm going to hide that. Get out of that. Hide these two. Alright, what I'm trying to do is just get to this by itself in between this and this. Now I can collapse these two. Collapse those. Now that I got that, I'm going to make sure that these are, I'm going to convert this to an edible poly. Once you do that, usually every time you collapse, it's going to switch it back to an edible mesh, which doesn't give you as many options as an edible poly would do. So that's why I always want to make sure that set that as a edible poly. So there we go. We got that all collapsed together. Now what I need to do is ensure these two verts are snapped, which they're not. I can already see that. These did not snap right. So let's go like this and we'll fix that. We'll snap that one there. Not sure how that moved. It might have been in the process of me flipping that. That still didn't snap right. So it turns green. That's usually... Why is that not snapping right? It's probably because it's got multiple... Yeah, so this one's not snapping as I would like to. That stinks. Alright, one way to get around that, I'm going to probably detach some more. Just detach and hide them so I can get at what I need to. I think there's just too much going on there, I guess, as far as that goes. That'll sometimes happen. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So let's go ahead and attach this one. Hello. Attach that one. And attach that one. Alright, let's make sure we're going to hide this piece. We can bring this all back once we got what we need. Hide that and hide that. Alright, now let's try this way. So now we got some of this noise out of the way. Zoom in on this. I'm going to put this on orthographic actually too. Allows you to zoom in a little bit closer when you get it in orthographic. Alright, so let's do... It might be because I got the edge snaps on too. That's probably the other reason why it was doing that. So if I would have turned off edge snaps, I probably would have eliminated a lot of that. Whoa, crap. I was in the wrong object. So for some reason... Where did that vert come from, I wonder? That's interesting. There we go. So get that one snap. Yeah, I think if I would have turned off the edge snaps up here, it would have been fine. I wouldn't have had to attach all that, but that'll work. It's all good. Alright, now we got that snap where we want it. Okay. I still got all those polys hidden. I can bring those back so I can adjust this once I get this where I need it. Still got our overall length here, so this is still based on our 30 foot as far as where this lands, right? So what I needs to do is adjust I might have to bring all that back here really quick. What I need to do is get this to where it's out further. If that makes sense, yeah. So let me take all these. Yeah, I think I got it. I can move all these verts this way. I'm grabbing all the verts on this end. This is my 30 foot mark right here, right? So keeping that in mind. So all I'm doing is moving this out this way to make more of an angle, I guess, as for the steps. I'm not changing the attitude of the overall length of the object. It's my 30 foot from here to here that still exists. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to bring back some of these other pieces that I hid here. In fact, let's go ahead and just bring all this back. I'm not sure which one was what. Actually, this one here I know was that other building, so we don't need that. Do a select all and just deselect that one. So let's bring all this stuff back. Now we can adjust to the steps. Like that. Okay, so let's grab this piece. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, there's that. Trying to figure out where I need to go with this now. This is where it'll get a little bit tricky because we're going to be using transparency. Yeah, so what I need to do is this piece here, I need to bring it back to where the top of these stairs now. That's one thing I need to do. So let's hide these two pieces here. So hide this. Oh crap. Wait a minute, I thought that was all separate. Oh, I thought that was all separate. Guess not. Is this not separate? 31. I could have swore I separated that all. That's interesting. Alright, now I'm lost. I gotta figure out what I did here now. Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, let me hide this one. Alright, so this is all separate. Yeah, I made a lot more breaks than I needed to. I just gotta sort it out. Alright, so these two, the angles. Good grief. It would probably help if I named some of this stuff, but I'm probably making this way more complicated than I need to, but I'm trying to get that. I want to get that indentation of that. You know, it's not right on the end of this thing. It's kind of like inset. That's what I want to get depicted here. So, oops. Okay. I probably went about this the entirely wrong way, but gonna work through this here. I need to keep a lot of these polys though because I'm gonna need to texture that and apply transparency to it. But this is where it does necessarily get a little bit daunting, is because of needing to maintain, I guess, these polys to apply texture to it, but also have that inset behind polys that are going to receive texture with the transparency. Let's unhide this one again. Okay, so what I got in this box is that angle for the steps. I do know what I need to do is this area here that I got highlighted currently. I need to get that to line up with the positioning of the steps, where the steps will be. That much I do know. So you can see where this lines up here, I need that to be at the end of the steps here. So, okay. With that being said, I can select this. I can probably just collapse that back together, actually. Let me do that. So I'll take this, this, and this. Just kind of remove some of the confusion of it. I'm going to collapse this all together. Like so. That'll make more sense to me. Now I want to keep that. Now all I want to do is this, for just doing editable poly, I want to take these verts and basically put them at the level of this, the top of these, where these steps will be. The only thing is, if I do that, hold on, that's going to take away from my 30 inches. Okay, hold on. So that's not what I want to do. This is that 30 inches I want to maintain. So really I need to adjust the steps here to this. That's what I need to do. I thought as we did that, I said that backwards. So I need to align this top edge of the steps to this level, because that's my 30 inches I want to maintain. I guess for the platform to the, yeah. Okay. I might just go ahead. Is this in a separate object? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm going to delete these right now because these are bugging me. I can always reapply those. I'm not worried about that. As long as I still have this, this is still my 30-foot mark. This is that indentation for that. I can reapply those railings once I get this stairway part set. Not a big deal. So I don't have anything hidden other than that. Cool. Whoops. Looks like my playlist stopped. Yes, there we go. There we go. Make sure you're everybody in the chat. If you're lurking in there, that you're checking your fluids. Exclamation point fluids in the chat. Make sure you're all with me. If you do need to get my attention, as if I get focused on doing the type of things, you can also use the sound alerts. Either way, it just lets me know that you're still awake and haven't lost you. I know I get enthralled in this type of stuff. Okay, so I do have it at that level. That's what I was. So probably what I'll need to adjust is just the location of this so that it matches that there. It's already at that level. That's what I needed to remove those polys for. So the top of this is already to that level that I need it. Where it's not at is, I can do this one of two ways. I'm just trying to think of how I want to do this. I can put these verts and snap it to that. That might work better. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. That seems to make sense. So let's go like this. Snap that there. Oh, it's a separate object there. Okay, I see. Snap that to there. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll get the X value for these two based on where that's at now. So rather than... Alright, hold on. What is that? Separate object? Looks like it is. How'd that happen? Alright, let's go here. Why is that a separate object there? Huh. I don't know what's going on there. Let me turn this off for a second. Trying to remember what the heck I did here. So I got a little sliver here. Okay, so that is... No, that's not. This is one piece here. I don't know why I got this one separated. It's separated here for some reason. Why did it do that? Let me delete this. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, so that's the level I need that at. Okay. Okay. Alright, hold on. So let me get this one here. What the frick did I got there? I definitely got some polys here I don't need. So I got this one. It's in my original box. That's just fine. Why is I got this piece? I don't understand that. Okay, that's where Swift looped at. How did that not cut all the way through? That's weird. Did that not cut all the way through? I don't understand why I did that. So it didn't cut all the way through here. See how this is cut all the way through and this is not. I don't know why I did that. Huh. That's weird. I'm not sure. For crying out loud. I don't know what I did. Not sure why I did that. I didn't check the other side there. Maybe it didn't cut all the way through. I thought it did. This did here. Cut all the way through there. Cut all the way through there. Huh. Alright. Yeah, what I'm not sure is that when I cut that, swift looped it, it didn't cut all the way through for some reason. And I'm not sure why. So, probably a way to correct this. Hold on a second. I need to correct this. I need to fix this problem. Get out of there. I need to... So I basically have a poly overlapping another one. I don't want that crap. Oh my goodness. Huh. Good grief. Now I gotta figure out... I got lost here, chat, so give me a minute. So this is that piece, alright. See, it's missing this. This is what I was confused with. So they should have had one of these polys coming down the same side here, which it's not. So I need to fix that. Okay. Don't know why that happened, but okay, no problem. We're going to go into edge here. Make a new poly off of this. Like so. And I'll probably just be able to zero that out on the... Let's take these two verts and zero that out. Okay. Now that's basically how I need to get the other side to look. With exception to this, these two verts up here. So this vert, I need that X. I'm just not really sure. I didn't check the other side, I guess, when I swift looped it. I'm not sure if it didn't cut all the way through. I don't know. At this point, this is how I'm going to fix it. So if I go like this, I can also apply that to these two. Torch giving himself playing some shots and slots. Sure to check your fluids and make sure you're sufficient there. Alright, so that should be all square and kosher now. That's what I want. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to hide this one. Actually, I'm going to center this. Center this up. So this is basically going to serve as that indentation. Why does this playlist keep stopping? Don't do that. Seriously? Wow, that's crazy. It's never done that before. That's what you get for royalty free. So anyway, so we got... This is basically going to serve as that inset at this point. That little inset. So between this point right here, as far as where that's inset on this part, up to the edge of this, that's what that's going to serve for, is this part. Now I'm going to hide this and bring back that original box. And some of this I'm going to need to get rid of. Or scale it back or something, because I think if I bring this back, that's going to be hidden behind that. I don't want that. So what I need to do on this box here is scale that back to this vert here. So I need to get the vert for this, the X on this vert, which is that. Okay. Yep. And then you have this, go to here and select all these verts, which I already do. Paste this in. I see what that did. So I might have snapped that to the wrong. That's fine. I can probably adjust that. Good grief. That might actually not, that might be okay. Basically what I had to do is the cutout that I had to create, god darn it, to create that inset was basically lined up over top of each other. So this piece here for the inset was actually over the top of the edge of that one. That's why I had to scale that back. That's what I just did. Now that I've got that done, I've got that piece and this piece. You can see where that lands now. I think this angle for the stairs should be okay. What I'm missing now is I'll have to fill this in to go around these stairs. Yeah, so I'm just looking at that angle there. So there's really no way, I guess, to determine. I'm just looking at it as far as like a normal pitch, I guess, for stairs. It almost seems to me that's got to be out a little bit more. So the way I would do that, that's probably why I had that the way I did. I'll probably have to move this. In fact, I should probably be able to back this up here. So if I put this back there and then move, yeah, I think that'll work better. So now if I can take this inset here and move that out, yeah, that'll make sense. That makes more sense. Okay, so let's do this. I need this X. Copy that. And then go into this object and move that whole thing to the end there like that. That's what I meant to do. So now, oh shoot, that didn't work. Yeah, I didn't move it out far enough. So what I'll probably have to do is move this. Yeah, as you can see, what I'm trying to do is get it at the end of this like that. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. So what I can do is affect the pivot and move this. I'm going to put on edge snaps here. Snap it to this edge like so. Turn that off. Now what I can do is I should be able to snap. I need to copy those verts, so copy this. And really any one of them, those are already selected, so I'll just go ahead and take that. Go to here and paste that to here. That should put that right on the end of that. There we go. That's what I wanted. So now that's butted up to the end of this box. And now I've got that angle that I was looking for in the steps. And it also still includes that inset. Okay. That was a little bit of work, I guess, to do that. Just apply that. And it's still going to be a relatively simple model. But as far as being able to texture this now, it'll be more sufficient, more efficient here, because I'll be able to put the railing in this area as well as this area. I can probably even bring this down. Now that I've got this where the angle that I want, I can actually adjust this vert down to meet up with this angle. So on this object, I'm going to take this and bring this down. I can probably do an edge snap, possibly. Let me check this here. So I turn off vert snap, put it on edge snap. I should be able to snap it to here. Let's see how that looks actually. That'll work. It's just that I'll still have to snap it. I'll have to get the X on this one. And actually there's two pieces there, it looks like, actually. Crap. Let me put this back here. So I'm going to do a drag select. Let's see here. There's a couple of verts there, actually. Yeah, 2 vertices. So I'm going to grab both of those, put it on the edge snap. Bring these both down until it turns green there. And then just to ensure that it's at the proper X, turn this off. I'm going to grab this X Since there's no vert for the snap to, I snap it to an edge so it can be too far this way, either way. So I'm going to copy that value, drag select these, and make sure that's at the same X. Like so. So now I know that's at the same X this way. So it's straight. And it's still snapped to that edge. So I'll do the same thing on this side. Now at this point what I can do is I can just grab the Z on this one, on these two. Now that I have that in position, I can copy this Z, like so. Drag select those, and then just apply this to the Z. There. Now I know those are both at the same level. What that's going to allow me to do is have a texture that's, I'll be able to put, I'll be able to make a edge or a poly based on this angle. And when I apply the texture on it, it'll follow that angle. Yep. I think this is working out pretty good so far. So what I want to do from here, I'm going to create a poly based on this edge and bring it down to the end. And I'll just more or less filling it in. So now what will happen is I'm going to have to create a poly in here, I guess, for the platform. Because keeping in mind, a lot of these, this will be a transparency in there. You'll still need to put a visual platform. So I'll still need to create that as well. So you have to kind of consider the transparency that'll be where this railing will be. So this will be all transparent. This will need a platform here. So right now there's nothing there. So I'll need to put that there. So there's going to be some concealment up until we get the transparency applied to it, and it'll actually make sense on the final model as far as with all the transparency applied. You know, that you'll see solid pieces, solid polys or whatever beyond those transparent items. This will make a lot more sense once I get it all together, but right now it's understandable, I guess, to be a little confusing. Alright, so let's go into this piece, go to edge, grab this edge, and then I'm going to shift drag this out like so. And then I'm going to take this vert, I'm going to do a vert snap to here, and I'm going to keep it just like that. I'm going to keep it square because we're going to keep this thing relatively square. Now, I could probably bring, actually I don't want to do that. This one here I want to maintain that 30 inches that's going to be here. So the fact I got this angle here might be fine. I'll have to see how that works in the texture. In theory, that should be okay as far as to have this in the orientation that I do. This should work out fine. So if I do like this, shift drag this out. Looks like this one got flipped maybe. Oh, guess not. It's just on an angle there. So now I can snap this vert to here. Snap this vert to there. So now you got to see how this is factoring in now. So what I'll have essentially is two planes coming up on either side here, and I'll do the same thing on this side. Let's go to edge, shift drag this out, okay, and then I can take this vert. Yeah, hopefully this makes a little bit more sense now. What I was trying to accomplish here is this, all the follow up there, because as far as detaching all the things that I made it a little bit more confusing. I apologize for that, but it's all on how you work through it. You know, in your mind of whatever, as far as what needs to be accomplished, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. It's just how you work through it, how you push through that. So if anything, I hope that's the takeaway, I guess, with this. Alright, I'm going to turn that snap off for a second. Now I want to grab, I was going to let me grab that vert. Hello? Oh, there's a vert in there somewhere. Alright, let's get this one first then. I know there's a vert in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Snap that one there. Snap that one there. So now I got the two sides which will accept the railings. Now I'll probably have to make this double-sided in an effort, I guess, to have a railing on either side of that. It may not be that big of a deal, but I do need to put a platform, I guess, on that. So what I'll do for that, I'm gonna hide this box here for the time being. Let's hide that for a second. And oh crap, I got the, actually I need that piece. Alright, I know what I can do. Unhide that again. I need that actual top of that stairs to make the platform go all the way across. So I'm going to detach that. So if I go into here, go to polygon, and detach that. Okay. And then I'll hide this. Yeah, so I need this piece right here. On this edge, select this edge. I only want the one edge. Oh, that's border, my bad. Helps when you go into edge. Okay, and I'm going to drag this out. And this is going to serve as the platform. I'll just extend it out like so. Okay. Just making sure this is going to be on the right side. Cool. Now if I bring the box back, yeah, this is where it's, again, it'll be a little, okay, I need to get the X on one of these verts, so grab this X. It's just a matter of getting that platform, I guess, to this extent. So I'm going to copy that X to here, hide that, go to here, and I'm going to center this like so, and I'm going to go into that verts here, take both of these verts and set it to what I just copied. There. So now that should be to that extent for that box. Now you're not gonna be able to see it from here, but you can see that that now extends all the way to where we want it here. So when we apply this transparency, you're going to be able to see that texture, whatever we apply as far as the wood planks, whatever, for that platform around that transparent property of the railings. So we don't need anything on the top here as far as now we could probably just go ahead and extend this out, and that'll be all trans in all actuality. In fact, just to kind of close that up there, that's probably what I'll end up doing. But again, I hope that kind of makes sense as far as, like, if you were to look at this here, let me hide the, and it will make a lot more sense once we apply, you know, to the actual model and spit that out. Okay, so let's do hide that. That's just the ruler. So what we have here at this point, this would be the steps going up to that, and that's our platform. And then all the way around this, you'll have a railing. All the rest of this that's not railing or steps or anything that you would step on is all going to be trans. So what I'll have to do at this point, just to kind of close this box in, is I'll need to fill this poly in here to this corner, and then from here to here, and that'll just all be transed out, but it'll maintain that simple box. And I might even be able to get away with not, hold on a minute. Oh, I'm just dry. Got a dry throat. Talking too much. Let's get myself a drink here. Apologize for that. Okay. Yeah, just getting a little bit of a dry hack there a little bit. So, what I can probably get away with is not even putting any polys in this part. And I'll just have these two textured here. I can probably just leave it just like that. What'll get textured is, you know, like this for the railings on either side. I'll have to probably double side this so that'll have it on both sides. I'll have a texture for going for the steps on this part, and probably just on the one side. It won't really matter probably. And I'm just thinking ahead now as far as like the construct of this. Yeah, I can probably definitely get away with not putting any polys on here, because all that would be is just transit out. There's nothing else that's going to be on here other than a transparency. I can probably just leave that open. So hopefully you can get a sense of what's going on here. So we'll have railing going around this part here at the 30 inches, and that'll have transparency on it. We'll have some texture on here for the posts on the bottom half to support, you know, the supports for the platform. That'll also have transparency in it. We have our platform, which will have a wood plank texture on it inside that railing, and then you got the steps, which will also have probably some transparency in it. We might even be able to get away with just putting a solid texture on there. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it looks. But this should be the basic construct of the model now. I think we're pretty much good. We took the polys we don't need on this out. Probably the only thing I would probably consider is to put a double side on these two polys. As far as yeah, because right now it's only single sided, and by that I mean it's only going to have a texture on this side. So this side it won't have anything. So that might look kind of weird. So yeah. So let me see here. I probably only need to. And let's see what I can do here. So I can probably detach these two, and that would be fine. Probably all of this actually. Let's go like this. We'll do detach this. It's one piece. Now we got that in the orientation that we need it. And we'll also detach. So we're going to make these double-sided. Okay. Yeah, this will make sense. So we'll detach this one as well. Alright. Whoops. And deselect that so I can get after this. There we go. So now I'm going to hide this and this. Okay. And let's see what we got left here. Actually, this one here, I don't even know if we'll need that. Let me bring this back here real quick. So box one. Yeah, we might not even need that piece right here. I'm trying to get rid of that because that'll just be transit out. Anyway, it's not going to hurt to keep it there. It's just that when we apply the texturing to this, it's just going to have magenta on it. All this on here, actually. Actually, now that I think of it, this whole part here is going to be all magenta. I guess the only reason why I don't consider to take it out is we're going to have a top rail. So it'll be somewhat evident. It's just, it'll be as distinct, not real distinct, but I mean, you'll have a texture on the top and on the very edge of this as far as like a border. And then the rest of it will just have transparency in it. So majority of these polys here on the top here will have transparency, but the edge will have like a top of the rail. So we don't want to leave that out. So we'll probably leave that just like that. Yeah. I'm just doing a little bit of thinking through. So as far as how I'm going to go about texturing this thing as I do this. So that's a detached piece there. All I want to do with this one here is clone it. Yeah, I don't need to center that or anything. So the pivot is right here, which should be fine. Just go ahead and clone that. Copy. And then what I can do from here Go to polygon, select it, and I'm going to flip it. Go down here, and flip it. So now I should have two backwards faces. You can see it's kind of clipping into each other as far as that. So I have essentially two pieces here now. So there's one piece. Now let me see if I can, I'll do it this way. So if I move this out, you can see I got two pieces now, and I'll just undo that. So there's two pieces now. So I'll be able to backface that, basically. Okay. So let's just undo that. That right back there. And then we'll go ahead and clone this one. Signable poly, cool. Oh, that's interesting how that pivots right on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and center that on that. What the heck? Yeah, let's put it right on that. That's not really gonna matter when it comes to cloning it or whatever. It's gonna be all collapsed together eventually anyway. James is giving himself a shot. One in there and didn't get anything on the slots though. You still got the risk there too, dear James. Just let you know. Okay, so yeah, centered that out there. I'm gonna go ahead and clone this. Edit, clone, copy, yes. Then I can just go into here, go to polys, select that, and flip them. There. Now I should have two back face, so I got it's double-sided on that part. Now whether or not I will need to do double face on, it might not be a bad idea actually, as far as all these pieces, because there is going to be some. So now that I got those double faced, I might have to double face at least these three sides, I should say. So I'll need to double face this side, that side, and this side. So in order to have a post that looks like it's 3D from all angles, if you will. So I'll probably have to create a clone of this, but I'll only need to, let me see here. Kind of checking his fluids out. Got 13 hours in the stream. Nice. 1926. Beautiful. Con risking some of his. And you got 32 units. GG's Con. So yeah, I think I'll probably do the same thing with this here too, because I'll need to have double faces for the railing so that I can texture on both sides. Yep. Already think of that. Otherwise, it's not going to have a texture on. It only have it on the outside and not the inside. That might look kind of weird. Yeah. So I think what I'll do on this here, I'm going to make double faces. I'm going to basically clone this and flip the polys. So I'll have the two sides. And in the effort, I guess, of texturing those, I'll probably keep them separated so that I can actually texture them, so I can ensure, I guess, I'm getting the proper polys selected. Yeah. Okay, so just trying to figure out an angle of attack here. So yeah, with this selected, let's go ahead and clone this. Clone that. And now that I'm on box 2, I'm going to select all these polys and flip them. And basically, like I said, what that's going to do, it's going to create two separate objects. One is going to have the texturing facing the inside faces, and one on the outside faces. That's going to give it that more of a 3D effect, I guess, as far as, even though it has transparency. So without adding in a lot of detail in the object itself, we'll have the option of being able to texture both sides between the inside faces and the outside faces on both where the stairs are and where the platform and the supports are. Yeah, I think we're good to go now. So I got this all separated out. So I got box 1 and box 2, opposing faces. Object 4, that's that little piece there. We'll keep that. Actually, I can probably attach that. Yeah, because that's gonna. This part here is gonna be transed out. I don't even think that's gonna matter. I'm just really curious as to how that's gonna look. Because the way I initially think, even the top rail, I guess, coming off these stairs, there's not gonna be anything there. So. There's probably going to be some adjustments we'll have to make once we texture this, but the way it looks to me, it'll turn out so far, as I've already talked about how we're going to put a top rail on this poly, and the majority of this will be trans to include this piece. What won't happen, it won't happen the same way here, the way we got this one here. So it makes me almost want to put a poly coming down here following that same slope of the stairs on this edge. So that we have the ability of being able to put a top rail, you know, a texture on. Otherwise, there won't be anything at all. It'll just be kind of non-existent. So it kind of loses something. Even though it'll have something up here, it won't have it on the stairs. So I'm kind of almost half tempted, still without adding a whole lot of detail to this. Let's bring this back out. So we got our steps with our platform. Yep, that's all one piece. What I'm considering, just trying to figure out how I want to do this. So what I would have to probably do if I do it that way is I'd have to make this yeah, because if I put the polys just on here, that's going to make it the texture up on top here, which I don't want. I want it to be at the level of the actual rail. So let me try something here really quick. If I go, I just want to play with some things here a little bit. So if I bring this down like so, so you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to. So this would be the top of the rail. This would almost make more sense to me, actually. We do it like this. Yes, definitely. So if I do that, yeah, let me try this. So if I go in here, I'm going to set all these to that level. This actually makes more sense to me to do it like this. Yeah. Paste that. So you can kind of see what I'm getting at as far as actually making the shape of that railing here so it follows the flow. As far as the top rail here, I'll be able to put a texture. I'll put a poly across that, going across the steps, so that I can actually have a texture continue off that top rail here onto the stair rail. So yeah, that's what we're going to go with. So it's still keeping the model relatively pretty simple. It's not very complex. Really what adds the complexity to this thing is it's got the indent on the steps into the platform. It's not right on the end of the platform, in other words. Okay, so if we do that, this vertex, so there we go. So now what I'll be able to do is extend this out to here. So let's do that. So we select this piece. I might actually combine this to this one, actually. Let's do that. That's box 2 or box 1. Yeah, I want that on box 1. I forgot I already duplicated that one. So go to box 1. So I'm going to take box 1 and this piece and collapse those two together. There we go. That should work. Now I'll just reconvert that to an editable poly. And I'm going to do pivot. Center. Just making sure it's centered. It should be centered. Cool. Yeah, the only reason, and the reason why, and that was something else that was kind of throwing me off, because I still have this piece out here, that's part of box, the first box. That's why it's putting that pivot right here, as opposed to being like further this way. It's still got that piece right here. So when you consider the center, I guess, of this edge and out to this edge, that's why it's putting it there. That was kind of throwing me off a little bit there for a bit. Okay, now that I got that piece all put together, now I can take this edge, just go into this edge, and shift drag this out, like so, and then vert snap that. Yep, so go vert snap, vertex. Snap that to here, like that. And just to close it off, I'm just going to go ahead and just box this all right in. This will probably be mostly all trans, but it will have some texture. And this is what I consider as far as, like, I want to have some texture on the very edge of this to make a post here for, you know, so it'll kind of continue that texture, I guess, on the very edge as far as to make a border for a top rail and then a post all the way to the ground. So I'm just going to fill this all in. Whoops, I need to go to edge and drag this all down like so. And then I'll snap these verts to this. There we go. So it's still a relatively simple model as far as a boxing shape, but underneath all these polys we got the platform, and then it's all double faced to where we can texture both sides of the rails on this one here. This will more or less all be trans for the most part, with that exception of on the very edges it'll have it, you know, a texture for a rail and a post. And it'll all make sense once I start applying the texture to this. But right now this makes more sense to me to do it this way. So now we have that done like so, and if we go back to our model here, see what I'm depicting here, so what we'll probably lose out is being able to keep this boxed in, but you can see there's a railing here as well as posts just past that indent of the top of the stairs. So we might lose a little bit in translation without applying probably another cut in here, say for example, which I kind of eliminated that. Yeah, in the process, I guess, of doing this. So I missed a cut, you know, coming like right in this area. So in order to make that post right here, I think we should be fine this way though. What we'll be able to do is when we apply the texture, we'll be able to make a post going at this level, and this rail will extend out to that post, and then we'll have the railing come off here. We'll be able to translate, you know, configure that all in the texture itself. So without adding all that detail to the model itself, we're spending a little bit more time on the texture than we in the model in this case. So I think we're pretty much done with our conformity of our model. Probably the only other thing I'll do is just make sure I have box 1, box 2, box 5, or object 5 is the steps in our platform. That's fine. Object 6 is our one side. 7 should be the other side. Okay, and then the other 2 here are going to be the back face of those. I'm just ensuring I got everything I need. So I got everything represented now. So, but it's all segregated. So when I texture this, I'll be able to actually break down. So if I want to texture the outside faces, for example, of everything. I'll turn off box 2, 8, 9, and in this case I can turn off, let's hide that. So now it's just the outside faces. I also can take away the platform, which I think is 7. No, that was 5. Yeah, so this one I won't need either when I texture. So I'll hide this. So this is just the outside edges. What I've got represented here is just all the outside edges right now. Yeah, and these are all independent. So if I want to just focus on the outside edges for this one here, I can hide. I almost kind of want to name these too at this point. That way I know which one's which. Yeah, so let's do that. Just to kind of help our process here. So if we're going to do outside stairs, yeah, just going to mark these. That'll be outside stairs. And I can do this either left or right. This depends on how you look at it. Whoa, what the heck's going on there? Uh-oh. Oh no, how did that get like that? So I got this on a wonked out of shape here for some reason. How in the heck did that happen? Holy mackerel, how did that get? Put this top down. How'd that get screwed up? Alright, let's bring my ruler back out. Something happened there. That's not good. I goofed something up, so let's do plane. Let me set this back to 30 foot. Wow, I don't know how that happened. That stinks. Alright, so let's put this to feet. And we need to put this to 30. 9.144. So we need to see which one got screwed up. Somehow in the process of, I guess, of doing this, I got this all on a wonk. Don't know how that happened, but we're gonna fix it. So vertex. Looks like it's this one that might be out of whack. Let's check this one. Okay, so here. 6. Huh. Can't tell which one's off. Alright, let's set our ruler up here. So we got our value there. Let's go into our ruler. Somehow it got out of whack, so we got to fix that. Not sure how that happened, but need to fix it anyway. Okay, so 90 there, and then our value for needed to be this. Alright, so this is representative of 30 feet. Wait a minute. That's 30 foot? Wait, so something happened. We got this all jacked up. That's 30 foot? What? Hold on a minute. Something happened here. So if that's did I get the right value? Hold on. Yeah, it was a okay. So that's 30 feet. Wow, something really got jacked up here. I thought I kept that at 30 foot. I guess I didn't. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. I really screwed up something here. So yeah, I got this at the right width. So yeah, this is 30 foot right here. Holy mackerel. Yikes, how did that happen? Alright, well. Okay then, let's not that big of a deal, we just have to adjust that edge. I'm gonna set this up. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, so what I will do, I'm gonna set it up on this edge, and then I'll just, or I can go the other way. I could do that too. I could do it from this edge rather than mess with that edge. This will be easier to deal with on this edge. So what I'll do, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'm gonna affect this. Yeah, let's do it like this. So I'm gonna put. Why are you doing that? There we go. Let's put that on. Oh, for crying out loud! I don't know if it's snapping to that or not. I think it's snapped on there. I gotta move it away a little bit just to see. Turn that off for a second. Go back to effect pivot. Yeah, that's snapped in there. So that's snapped there. So now what I can do, actually probably be better to snap it on this edge. Now I think of it. Let's snap it over here. Because I want to line this up with this edge. So now if I get the X on this one, copy that. So now what that'll do, now I know how much to bring this end in. I've got this ruler lined up with that edge. But also, I want to ensure yeah, so that's still 30 foot. So yeah, that's how much I got to bring that edge. Actually, I did do that backwards. Dadgummit. I need to line it up with this edge because I want to adjust this edge. So I did it backwards, but you kind of see what I was going for, at least anyway. So I want to snap. Let's bring this back out. Yeah, I just did it backwards is all. I want to adjust this edge and not this edge because I got all this set and I don't want to move that. Okay, effect pivot. Put that on. Put this on this edge. Yeah. Now I know what I was trying to do. Okay, so now in here, I want to get this X. I want to get this X like that and apply it to here. Paste that in there. So now that's lined up there. Now I can slide this over here like so. Now I know how much to bring that side in. That's what I was going for. Alright, so let's do it like this. So this is on box 1. Alright, so let me get the X on this one. Copy that. Go into here. I'm going to grab all these verts on this end. I want to put that at the same X. There. Now, that's still going to be over 30 feet though. So that might not have done as much as I needed to. So I needed the overall structure to be 30 foot. So I'm still going to have to bring this in. Okay. Well, I already know what I'm going to do. All these clone copies, I'm just going to get rid of those because those are wrong. I'm going to move this down Oops. Yeah, those are definitely all wrong now. Okay, so... Oh yeah, Kanumba. I don't know how that happened, but... I guess the other thing I do need to do... man, this is nuts. I just don't know why it happened. So, outside stairs, I want to keep that. Object 7. That's also outside stairs. Yeah, let's get these marked. I'll at least get those still marked. So let's mark this one as outside stairs 1. This is adding a lot more, and it's probably because I'm just trying to do this so fast, but it's just how you recover, I guess, from things that happen like that to get out of whack. I'm just keeping things in perspective. I really don't know how that happened, but who knows. Bottom line is we need to fix it before we can go any further. Alright, so this is going to be 2. Outside stairs 2. What I need to do is get this adjusted so it doesn't have all this wonk to it first before I adjust it at all. So let me do that. That's just crazy. Question is which one do I want to go by? I might as well just go by this one over here. Crying out loud. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go into this one here. Actually, what I need is this X. That's what I need. I need this X here. And I need to copy that into here. Oh, I'm making a lot more work out of this thing than I wanted to, but I had a hard time understanding why that even did that in the first place. I kept that all in place. I don't understand that. That's what's boggling my mind right now. Alright, so we adjust that. Now I should be able to just snap the verts on here. Oops, gonna put the vert snaps on. Snap that to there. And then I'm just gonna copy that X. So here. And that's all in an effort just to get that straightened back out again. What the heck? Seriously? What? Why is that not lining up? What the heck? That makes no sense. Hold on. Alright, maybe this is not at the rate. Crying out loud. Copy that. Jeez, OP. I don't know how this is getting all whacked up like that. Ah, staggummit. Copy now. Now it's just getting frustrating. I don't know how this is getting all whacked out of shape, but it's just trying to straighten this out at this point. There we go. So that should be straight. Let's check the top down. Looks straight. The only way to ensure is I'm going to grab this vert and check it with this one over here. So 5.989 there. And vertex. Nope, it's definitely not lined up. Why is that not lined up? This is really starting to bug me now. It's got a dent in it. How? I don't understand that. Good grief. This thing's all dented, like someone beat the crap out of it. I don't understand how it got that way. Hold on. Good grief. These verts coordinates are definitely out of whack. So let me copy this. I don't know how it did that. That's really bugging me. Should be no reason for that. Paste that. Okay. Wow. That is crazy how much this is off. Okay. Now it should be. Definitely is not. Why is this? Oh my goodness, look at this crap. What in the heck is going on here? Alright. I'm done with this already. Let's do this. I have no idea why it's doing that, but let's do this. This one's flipped for one reason. That is freaking wild. No idea why that is, but that is strange. Alright, so X this. You're just watching me step all over myself here now. That is just very, very peculiar as to why that's all out of whack. Alright, so let's get the Z on this one. Wow, that's crazy. That doesn't look like it's at the same Z though. Well, it says otherwise. So this one is set. Same Z. Paste that. Alright, so those are at the same Z. What about the X? So X. Nope. What in the heck, man? Don't understand what's going on here and why those are so off. Okay, it's not by much, but it's enough. None of these are lined up. That is crazy. So 599, 599, 599, 599. So now that's straight. My goodness, that's crazy. No idea how that got all out of whack though. Just out of curiosity now. Probably gonna see a lot of wackiness out of this one too. So 3962. 3962. 3962. No. So might have been just my eyes on that one there. It looked like that was out of whack too. This end here definitely got all jacked up for some reason. So anyway, we're only dealing with the outside edges here. Now I'm going to create another poly based off of this one here. Need that there. And then we'll snap the verts there. And we're still at 599, so that's good. So however that got out of whack in the first place, I don't know, but we got it fixed now. We're all good to go. Okay. With that done, now we need to get this down. This is our 30 foot that we're trying to go by. So I need to bring this whole part up to the edge of this. So what I can do at this point is get this X. Copy that and go into here. Should be able to grab all these verts from that edge. Paste. That's gonna make that all shift now. Son of a gun. Wow. I don't know how I fucking this is nuts. Alright, well, we're gonna work through it here. We're gonna fix all this. Don't know what I did, but it's obviously all wrong, so we're gonna fix it. Okay. Man, I'm gonna have to adjust everything on this thing now. Alright, so this needs to come back. Holy mackerel, man. I don't know how this got all out of whack. Huh. Man, that's just bugging me now. That's like a whole hour wasted, seems like. Alright, so I need to bring this all back. Yep, this all needs to come back. So I can make room for... See, I made that one piece. Crap. That's alright, we'll have to deal with that. What I basically need to do now is get the end of this to fit inside of there. Alright, so let's go like this. Now I can take all this and drag this in like that. Oh, the macro. Okay, so I can get this to here. At this point, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I know that's not going to be exact, but trying to make up for lost time now. Okay, so I need to go like this. Now, I need to get the X for this X here. Okay. Paste that here. Oops, these are individual pieces, I see. Yeah. Huh. Why is that one? Oh, for crying out loud. Killing me here. I thought that was all one piece. Alright, no problem. So let's make this. I need to adjust the pivot on this one. Holy mackerel, man. I'm not gonna lie, folks, this is actually pretty frustrating. I don't know how that got all whacked out of shape, but we're gonna muddle through this. Alright, so that snap there. Okay. Now I need to get that X for this again just to make sure I got that. Yeah, this is, you know, it's probably a good thing this is happening, because why it happened the way it did, I don't know, but as far as how you recuperate, I guess, from it, that's what you should necessarily take from this. Alright, so I've got some verts here that I'm going to have to adjust. Just making sure. Yeah, so this here will have to be adjusted to accommodate the size of that. Basically what I'm considering there. So I need the X for this here. Copy that. Good grief. I just feel like I lost a whole hour and a half or so. Just by that being off like that. It's just nuts. And I really can't figure out why I did that. How that happened. Somewhere in the grand scheme of it, yeah. It's pretty straightforward. It should have been, at least, anyway. Alright, so now I need to adjust these two verts here to that there. Okay, so I need the X on this one. And rather than doing a vert snap, I guess that's what I'm trying to avoid right now, because I almost feel that somewhere along the line of vert snapping is how this got messed up. So I'm just doing copying the coordinates, I guess, to make sure that it's putting it where it needs to go at this point. I have a strange feeling, I guess that's how this got jacked up the way it did, as far as doing the vert snaps instead of just doing it this way. It's the only thing I can think of at this point. Alright, so now I know that's in that. That's proper. Okay. Now as we know that's our footprint there, so I'm gonna hide the ruler. Gotta deselect that. Hide that. There we go. So I'm gonna have to redo that platform object and all that too. So let me finish up this outside faces that we need. Yep, so this is all going to be adjusted. My goodness, man. This is just so messed up. Not even funny. Oh my god, I just can't get it. What the heck did I select there? What are you drag selecting there? What edge is there? Hold on. Huh. I don't know what the heck that was. I mean, for as much as this should be straightforward, I don't understand why it's being such a pain in the butt. Really? Where's my piece? My goodness, man. Give me my edge. Okay. this. Shift. What are you doing? I shouldn't have to detach that. Really? Alright, let's try it from this way then. Unbelievable. I don't get this. Alright, so if I create one from this way, let's try that. That might work. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out an angle of attack is all. I'm really trying to stay away from vert snapping, I guess, at this point. Just gonna zero that out. That should be 0. That should be 0. Cool. So all that should be 0. Alright, so I'm just gonna build that off this edge. Like so. Okay. Really? Come on now. Sheesh. Alright, so do that. Zero that out. Zero that out. Okay. That should be our outside faces. Now, I need to bring back alright, what did I do there? Okay, so that's just that piece there. So that's an outside one. See, I don't like the way it did that because I wanted to keep that. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so on this piece here, I need to detach this. Yeah, I don't like the way it did that. That's screwed it all up now, so do that object. Just trying to keep those sides there completely separate from the rest of it. So this here, polygon, attach, yes. Okay. Now if I select this and this, collapse those two together. So I know those are finished. Okay. Alright, so collapse those two. Alright, so now I've got this as one side. And this is one side. And then our box there. Perfect. Now I don't know how this is going to work now with that railing there. So I got it on the platform here, but it doesn't go all the way across here like it did. So I don't know if that's going to work. I'm hoping that should work out fine. Hoping anyway. Alright, so now with that done, I need to make... I got to get rid of those other... Yeah, so probably these in here that I got, I'm going to have to get rid of those because those are junk now. Other than Object 5, I can just adjust that, which is basically that platform. Okay. I need to adjust this platform. Boy, that's going to be fun. Okay, let's see. Alright, so we still got our 30 inches there. Alright, so I need to bring this back to that. So we're going to get this X. Okay. And then bring these two to that X. Okay. Then I need to bring these two to that X. Okay. So hey, this little project's giving me a workout. There we go. So now we got that angle there, so that's set to there. That should be on the edge of that platform there. So we can kind of see where that lines up with there. That's what we need. Now we need this to line up over here. So again, I'm just staying away, I guess, from using the vert snaps. Because I think in the process of doing all the vert snapping, I think that's what jacked everything up. So just to ensure that everything's going to be where I need them to be, actually I need to get this X here. So I can just grab all these, grab this X. And then apply it to this one here. There, so that should line up with there. So we got our 30-inch railing all the way down here. Our steps will be on that part, so that's going to be our platform and our steps. See, look at all this jacked up now. What the heck? How? How? See, even by doing that, it still did that. What in the heck? Okay, hold on. Just having all kinds of issues today. And there's really no reason why. Yeah, these definitely don't line up here, so what's up with that? Let me do these one at a time. Let's do them one at a time. So we got this one here. Copy this X. Yeah, so copy that X. Go into this one. Whoops, go to vertex. See how this stuff is not lining up though? It's just, I don't get it. I mean, in theory, I should be able to just select all the verts that I want to be at that level, and it should just line right up. The fact that it's not, that's really weird. Now it is. Okay. So once again, that's our steps, that's our platform. Got all of our outside faces. So if I hide our outside box here, now you can see the steps with our platform. We got our two sides, just the outside faces there for the railing and such like that. Okay, so we got all that. Now what I'll do is let's bring back box 1, which is that. The box 2, yeah, so what I'm going to try to do now is the stuff I want to delete is not even include those yet. I'm going to rename this one outside faces. Let's see here. That way I know I can keep that. So all the ones that I name are the ones I want to keep. That's basically what it boils down to. So this outside stairs 1. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that's right. Outside stairs 1. Object 10 is what? Alright, something's still not right. Crying out loud. So what's this outside stairs? Yeah, alright, hold on. I gotta hide this one to see what's going on here, because something... Hide that. Okay, I already got that named. So that's outside stairs 2. Okay. That I want to keep. This will be outside stairs 1. Okay. Outside stairs 1. Alright, so we got those 2 established. This object 5 is going to be our... I'm just going to put platform. So anything that's named, once again, like I said, that's what I'm going to want to keep. We're getting there. I was hoping really to have both these items done. I didn't think it was going to create this much complexity here. Alright, so now we can hide this. What did I just do there? Alright, these are all the things I want to keep. That's what I want. So now I want to select all this stuff. This is what I'm going to keep. So hide that. And then all this stuff that it's not named. As far as this. Box 2. That's just our ruler. And I guess at this point I can delete this one as well. So all this stuff here I can delete. This is no longer of any use to us anymore. So delete all that. Now we can bring back all this stuff. With exception to the ruler, we don't need the ruler. There. So this is all of our outside faces to include our platform. Now what I need to do is copy this, clone it, and we're going to call this inside faces for this one, like so. So inside faces for that. What I will need to also do is flip those polys. So I'll go like this, make sure I got all those selected. Flip them. Okay, so that's going to be our inside faces. Okay, so we got the inside outside faces there. This one I need to clone that. This is going to be outside stairs. No, inside stairs, my bad. Inside stairs 1. And I can probably really get away with collapsing these 2 pieces together. So inside stairs 1. So now I got 2 of those. Inside stairs, outside stairs 1. Now I need to clone the other side. On this one here. So I clone this. Actually, did I flip those? Probably didn't. So I need to go to inside. Inside stairs 1. Come on. And I need to flip these. Okay, I don't know why that was in a different spot there. That was threw me out. Oh, it's a edible mesh, that's why. Oh, for crying out loud. That's still an edible mesh. Convert that to an edible poly. Yeah, caramba, says outside stairs 1. That's why I've got these worded, or I've got them. See, that makes no sense. So when I clone that, it was knittable mesh. This one's a knittable poly. Why are you cucking me like this, man? Inside stairs, outside stairs. Okay, there we go. Outside stairs, so I'm going to convert that to a knittable poly. This is why I'm naming everything at this point. Just making it easier on myself. So inside, outside. Okay. Now, outside faces stairs 1. This one's stairs 2. Okay. Yep, and this is editable mesh. I'm going to convert that to a poly. Okay. Now I need to clone it. There's a copy, and I'm going to do this one as inside faces 2. Inside stairs 2. Alright, so that should be okay, so inside stairs 1, outside stairs 1, inside stairs 2, outside stairs 2. That's what I need. So I've got all my inside and outside faces. What I want to deal with at this point is just the outside faces of everything. So anything that's inside, I can hide those to include the platform. So hide those. So now that's just the outside faces that I have here. Okay, I haven't even got anywhere close to getting the texture done, which is spending most of the time, I guess, trying to figure out what was going on with the model itself. Now that we got that all figured out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this bugger, because now we should be where we need to be after about an hour of lost time, I think. Just to put the ruler out here just to make sure. So now we got the 30 feet that we need. Perfect. Unbelievable, but okay. I'm gonna save this scene. I haven't done that yet. Okay, that's a pretty safe place to do that. So I'm gonna do let's just name this Media Towers TOWER. Actually, I'm gonna name this as Media Tower 1. I think that's what I started. Yeah, because we got 2 of these to deal with. So let's go that way. So Media Towers. Yep. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and rename this as Media Tower 1. So as I'm thinking of it there. Just to kind of match everything up. So we got that scene saved. We're good there. Hope everybody's still with me. Hope I haven't bored anybody to death and trying to just recover, I guess, from that. I think we're right where we need to be now, and it's just a matter of creating the actual texture now. So, with that, we kind of know what we need to have. We need to have a platform. You know, as far as the actual platform that the TV cameras or whatever, photographers, whatever, stand on. So we know we need that for our texture. So we're going to use this here, copy that, and paste this in as a new layer. Now it's just a matter of texture construction here. I think we want the planks going. It's kind of hard to tell in the picture. Oops. I want to say they're probably running this way, you know, as far as the short way. and not the long way. So I'm thinking of probably turn this. Wait, let me delete that out there. I'm going to turn this way. So let's do image, rotate to the left 90 degrees, like so. And then I'll paste this back into the layer. And I can probably shrink this down a little bit. I don't need this much room for it. Although this won't be that big of a deal, I guess, if we do leave it that size. Although I am kind of considering if I use the same texture for both media towers. Okay, so that's something else I kind of consider as well. Using basically killing two birds with one stone. So instead of having two separate textures, but there is that option too, I guess, as far as creating banners, at least on the one tower. Kind of invites the idea for me to scale this down a little bit, because we don't need this much room for a platform. So with that being said, I'm going to do it this way. Shrink this down like so, and just kind of stretch this out like that. Actually, I'll keep it this way. Yeah, let's do this. I got a better idea. Like that. Copy that. Paste this again. This right next to it. Just trying to seam that together though. So that's going to be more or less our planking, you know, for our platform. Okay, now what we'll need is some railing. And to do the railing, I'm thinking just using simple, if I take like, let's see how I want to do this. I'm kind of almost thinking of using like segregating one board out of this thing. And I'm noticing just how worked out these are. So, and more or less this comes down to texture structure now. It's not, let me see if I can do this though. If I do this, how this will work here. I may actually have to do like a, because it's kind of crooked, it's not a straight line. So let's do it this way. If I do, I think the lasso will give me that. And I can do a point to point on that. Let's try this here. Now if this will work better, we'll see. Yeah, I didn't realize that this wasn't a completely straight line. See how this works though. So if I copy this. So basically what I'm trying to create is like a post for like this side rail, I guess you will. Okay, and then I can probably just chunk this down. Probably don't even need it this tall, but just something to start off with. Let's see. Let's do this. So you get the idea. I'm going to kind of straighten these out here. So that's going to be like one of the posts. Now I can take this, paste this new, so this is a new image, and then I want to rotate this. Copy that. you gotta get the sense of what I'm trying to do here. So I'm creating a railing. So that railing, it's kind of hard to really tell, but you know, as far as a post and then a top rail and then however many I got this thing too big. Let's shrink this up a little bit. See if I can get back to the picture here. Yeah, so it's got basically the corner post, and it's got like, I'm not sure how many. You can kind of vaguely see them here. There's one here, and one here. So it looks like there's 3 in between the 2 corner posts, probably on either side. So there's 3 posts in between. That's basically what I'm creating, is that frame for that railing. And I'm probably using a lot more real estate on the texture than I need to. I can probably size that down once I get this initially put together. So what I'll do is just keep building onto this, like so. We'll do one more. Okay, and then we'll have this end piece. Flip this back and paste this new selection. So we'll put this on the end, and I'm gonna rescale this thing down once I get it all put together. So that's not using quite as much. Okay. So now I'll put 3 posts in the center of this. Put one about here. I can overlap this, I guess. Add and paste. Get them relatively evenly spaced out. I definitely have more on this side, but that's not 100% terrible. Let's see here. I'll back this up just a little bit in a second. I got this all in one layer, so we'll do a little bit better job of that. More or less just eyeballing it. There. That's a little better. Now I'll put a bottom rail on this as well. And I'll just build that up again. I can probably just do it this way actually. Check with it. I'll copy this. Just like that. Create a bottom rail. Now what I can do is take this whole thing, apply deformation to it. Whoa, why is it going way up there? What? Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Should be able to just get this piece here. Okay, let me lock it in on that. There we go. And double click on it. So now I can just scale this down. I don't need it to use as much real estate. I can probably shrink this down too to about the same size as what I make this railing. I'll probably do that. Okay, and then take this piece, lock it in on that, and we'll apply deformation to that. So that's going to be our platform. These are going to be our rails. Now, there's probably not going to be any animated occlusion on this, so I don't need to be concerned with, you know, making separate pieces, I guess, for... More than likely, we won't need any animated occlusion on this. so I don't need to be worried about that. So this will be for all the railings around the all the way around, as far as on both sides, as far as the inside and outside faces. What I'll also need to make is the supports for the structure, as far as the uprights on each corner, at least on the lower half there. Let's see. So we got that, the starts of that there. So I can probably just extend this even further past that to accomplish that. So if I do a copy, I can do something like this. Yeah, this would probably work. Okay, so I'll do this. Kind of get the idea there. So we got the 2 posts there. Got our railing. We need some steps. So what we want to use for steps would be, I'm almost thinking something similar to this here, only it'd be in the opposite orientation with, like, you know, more steps, I guess, in between it. So if I go like this, I'll just copy this out. Paste this into a new image and rotate this that way, and I'll just add more into it, I guess, to make the steps. Yeah, so do a copy, have this going this way, and we probably don't need this to be that big. So with that still selected, I'm going to do a deformation, shrink this down a little bit. Probably can go more than that, but let's see what we got here. So if we go like this. Alright, and then we just want to add more slats in between these. So I'm just going to grab make some more steps, something like this. Okay. And there'll probably be some adjustments I'll have to make to this texture as I apply things, because I know for the downward piece, I guess, as far as the, you know, for the railing going up the steps, I might have its own little section there just for that. The only way for me to get that would be to have the wire. So once I get some of this mapped, I'll be able to get the wire mesh for this thing, and I'll be able to better apply that wire mesh, and I can make that texture, I guess, for that. But this is a general idea, I guess, for the texture for that, for both towers. And now I'm leaving room, plenty of room here, I guess, to put banners, potentially put banners or anything else I need to do. But this is the bulk of what we'll need, I guess, for the steps, the platform, both top and bottom, as well as yeah. So I think we're off to a good start there. So, file, close this. Don't need that anymore. And in fact, what I will do with having this much done, I will go ahead and save this as a template. And basically what I've got is I got the transparency in the background, and I got that's all separate for right now. So like once I put the banners in there and stuff like that, if we want to do that, I'll put that in a separate layer. So I'll save this as media towers. So we'll do that's a PSD in this case. We'll do media towers. Okay. Zealous Sam, how are we doing? Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing this wonderful evening? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing a little bit of 3D modeling. We're creating some texture, I guess, for our 3D model that we created. And it's a very simple object. And just to kind of give a little bit of insight, if you're curious, we happen to be building, find a texture, this little object right here, as far as this little platform. It's like I said, it's a really simple model. Nothing too complex with it. Although I had a little bit of a an issue, I guess, as far as in creating it, and it was probably only fault of my own. So I lost a little bit of time as far as like I would have had this done a long time ago. But we're just now getting into the texture of it, you know, to get that. But now that we've got the model figured out, we're able to move on to the texture, and that's what I've done. So it's just a simple object with a simple texture. It's just a wood. Yeah, it's just a wood structure. So this will be our platform. This will be our railings, and then our steps for it. Very, very simple. Not very complex at all.
Your friends will see.
Let me get past that ad. Gotta love my royalty-free ambient music's playing. But feel free to, Zam, I don't know if you got any questions. Anybody else in the chat that you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know some of this stuff is not necessarily the most popular thing, I guess, to kind of watch, but I do appreciate you stopping by. You have a question? When do we kill things? Oh, there won't be any killing things over here. Unfortunately. No pew-pews or anything like that here, if that's what you're looking for. I apologize for that. I really do. But as far as what we're building this for, happens to be a racing simulation. Killed your hype? Did I? I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that, Sam. I really didn't. Womp womp. Feels bad, man. I'm really sorry. That wasn't my intention, Sam. I apologize. Will you accept my apology? Please accept my apology. If I killed the hype. In fact, if you want to build the hype back up there, you can type in !hype in the chat, and that would help it build it back up again. Oh, you wanted me to kill something? Okay. Well, if I satisfied that for you, then I don't feel as bad then. I don't feel as bad then. There you go. Yeah, we can build the hype back up by !hype. I also have plenty of BTTV emotes, channel emotes, !BTTV. We'll give you, we'll kind of show those off for you a little bit. And you can feel free to use those. I have the dancing parrot and things like that. That's another thing that kind of hypes things up sometimes. I put those in there for good reason. But we sometimes have to keep it, you have to keep it hype around here. Because some of the things I get involved in here, sometimes they do get kind of tedious and boring. So, okay. So I hope I've accomplished that. I feel like I took the wind out of the sails, and I didn't mean to do that. I feel bad. I still feel bad. Alright, so what I need to do on this one here is I need to flatten this texture. And I need to save this as a bitmap. This is part of the process of applying an alpha channel to a texture of this nature to the object. So now that we have this flattened, I'm going to save this as a bitmap. BMP. And that is right here. So we'll save that. And I'm going to confirm that I saved that, which is right here. And I'm going to right click and open this up with our WinMip2 utility. We'll have to create a MIP file based on this one. So we're going to navigate to our working folder here, and there's our bitmap. Now when we open this way, it'll be in this fashion, so all I need to do is select TGA. Torch is still in the chat there. It's playing the slots and risk. Feel free, anybody else in the chat, check your fluids. Exclamation point fluids in the chat. Make sure your fluids are staying sufficient. Want to keep well hydrated, I guess, during the stream. Khan risking some of his fluids. He actually gained some. Very good. GG's there. To all. You both gained some fluids. So, yeah. In order to get and I've shown this in previous streams, and we have a clip on this as far as how to do this in the WinMip2 utility. In order to apply an alpha channel to your texture, which you need to have in order to have that applied to the model itself that we've created, the TGA has to be existent in the texture itself. So in order to do that, you initially create a bitmap, 24-bit preferably, color. You open that up in WinMip2, you select TGA, and then by left shift and clicking the mouse pointer on the area that you want to be transparent, surface transparency, in this case the magenta, that'll show up as a swath in your visible color. Don't need to change any other parameters besides that. So we're going to save this as a TGA in our working directory as a TGA. Don't change anything as far as the name or anything, just spit that out. Now this TGA being created in the fashion I just shown will now have an alpha channel in it. So now we have a texture based on the bitmap as a TGA, but it'll have an alpha channel in it. And the way we'll be able to tell that it does is when we bring that texture into 3ds Max. In the material editor, it'll show us once we apply this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a sphere for this to put our texture. So I'm going to set this up for standard. Go to diffuse. And navigate to our working folder, which in this case is Media Towers. And I want the TGA. Load that in, and the way I can tell that this has an alpha channel, this little radio button. Once you set this up to standard, when you bring this, when you initially bring this radio button for image alpha will be selected. That's how you know that the texture actually has an alpha channel. If this doesn't show, if it still shows it as opaque, then you didn't create it correctly. This one does show it that way, so we're good to go on that. So now with that in our selection, I guess, for materials, we can now apply that texture to our model. And right now, only thing I have out here is our outside faces. So that's the only thing I'm going to deal with at this point. So with that done, I'll select our outside faces here, and I got the outside faces for everything else too, just keeping that in mind. I want to select this first. I'm going to put the texture onto everything, but so I'm going to do that, apply it to all that. That's how I know it's selected, or it's assigned. I'm going to put them on here as well. Just basically put it on all the faces. And also on this side. So like I said, that's one reason why I made separate opposing sides. That way I can do those independently. Okay. And because we've got, the only reason why I've done that is because we've got this hidden part, I guess you could say, as far as being able to get at the faces that we need to. If we were to collapse it all together, it makes it a little bit more difficult, I guess, to do it that way, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. So I need this one, and I want to apply that texture onto here on this side. now I can UV unwrap these. So I'm gonna go back to here, and you can kind of get a sense of what we got here now. So if I go and unwrap, I'm still in double poly. So I'm gonna do an unwrap. And I'm just looking at the time there, so it's coming up in the 4. I'm starting to get hungry. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that it was a little bit of waste of time, to be honest, I guess, as far as me getting these things done here in a timely fashion. We did get it, the object at least, you know, to where we can now texture it. I'm going to get as much done as I can here. I'm going to probably go for maybe another 15 minutes or so. And I do need to get some food. And that's probably what I'll call it good. But at least, if anything, I hope there's a good takeaway, I guess, as far as, you know, what you would necessarily deal with as far as creating something that's... This is kind of like a semi... not so complex object, so it's still relatively boxy, but you still have some definition to it as far as like that platform that's going to be hidden behind all the other faces as far as they have the transparency on it. But you'll understand as far as like how that's actually going to look, you know, in its final rendition, I guess, as far as the final object, at least anyway. Oh, those sound good. Enchiladas. I don't even know what I'm gonna have, but I do know I need to get some food, and I'll get at least these outside faces done. Just making that decision now that I've said that. I'll get these outside faces done, and I'll just kind of leave it at that, and we'll pick it up next time as far as to continue on with that. We'll finish this up next time I'm able to. So yeah, now I got these faces selected, and I want to open up the UV editor, select the texture itself, and I should be able to get away with just doing a planar map on this thing. Yeah, that's a mouthful. Yeah, should be able to. So if I go planar map. Okay, just a quick planar. Now I'll have all these other textures, faces in there, so I can just filter those out and just deal with what we want to deal with here. So now it's just a matter of getting this lined up onto this. You'll really get a sense of how this is going to work out, how this is going to present itself. So whether this is going to be sufficient or not still to be determined, because now the way I look at this, I segregated this out so I can separate, choose this independently. So that's probably what I'll do. You see how that doesn't line up with where I want the railing to fit into? That's kind of why I separated that out. So I'll be able to highlight that poly by itself and put that where the railing's at. And then I can do the post, whatever, as far as for the rest of the poly. Okay, so that's not a bad start. It's not a terrible start, but what I want to do further is select... Jeez, what crap. Selecting all kinds of stuff I don't want to. Alright, so I need this. Now I'm just going to separate this out. Actually, what I'll do, let me select this, and I'll bring this down. I'll kind of half this out, actually. Like that. So now, you see how that lands right in that area where I want that railing to be. Now that railing's right in that area where I want it to be. Plus I have the outside posts here. And once I put the platform in there and you know, with exception to all this transparency, you know, the magenta that's in there, you'll be able to see through all that. Right? So if I do that to the other side, okay, so let's do this to the other side. And I'll probably do it the same way that I did the other side. Is just select these two polys, like so. And I probably don't even need to do a quick planer on it. It's already in the orientation that I need it. So I'll just size this up here. It doesn't hurt to do a quick planer. You know, it does help to look and see how your texture is presenting itself on the polys that you've got selected. But in this case here, it didn't really hurt, I guess, to yeah, it didn't hurt at all, I guess, to apply the quick planer to it. Okay. Now, another thing I can do, and I'll probably wait until I got most of this all done. I'll be able to do a grid snap, I guess, as well. These things, to make sure they all line up perfectly the same. Right now, I'm just going to loosely fit all these polys, these faces, to the texture, and then I can always clean it up afterwards. But just to get a rough idea what's going on here. So on this part here, I'm going to adjust this down. I'm going to half this out. Just showing it, I can do it both ways, as far as either on the bigger poly or the one up here, and a combination of either one. So I can go like this, because it's still all technically together as one piece. I'll just kind of half it out, like so. And there we go. I got that. Let me see what I got here. Actually, I can probably adjust just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's see what I got here. Probably go like this. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So now that railing is falling right in between that section I've got cut out just for that. Now, this is what I was considering talking about, is as far as in the process of constructing this texture. I don't really have anything to create this angle. So what I'll do is, once I get a majority of this textured, I'll be able to do a wire based on these. Now that I have texture applied to it, I can get a wire based off of that. So I'll kind of show that. Let me get this one other side here first, over here, and then I'll deal with that. Okay, so we'll go like this. At least get all this done. Alright, this looks pretty good, so we'll just need to scale this down. And this I can use, and like I said, I don't believe we're going to need to apply an ambient occlusion to this. It's a rather simple object. So I'm not going to worry too much, I guess, about applying ambient occlusion to it. So I'll probably span this across a couple like this. That'll work. Okay. And then let's select this one here. And as I said, I can clean up this the placement of these polys onto the texture, I guess, later on. For right now, I'm just going to loosely fit these in there, but you kind of get the sense of how this is actually going to, how this is going to look now. So I got the railing with the support posts, and when I get this done on the inside polys as well, it's going to look more 3D. It's not just going to be, yeah, it'll look a lot more defined, but without having a whole lot of detail in the model itself. Yeah, so what I'll be able to do at this point, I'm going to save this scene at this point as it stands there. So we got it loosely mapped as far as on, at least on these three sides. What we don't have yet is this here, the stairs or anything like that yet. So I'm going to save this scene. Go ahead and save that. Then what I can do is go, and I've kind of shown this process before as well, but I'm going to walk it through here. So I want to make a wire frame, a wire mesh of everything that's in here. Really, the only thing I can really focus on just this area. I don't really need this part. Although eventually I will get a wireframe of the entire model. Eventually, what I really need to focus on at this point is just this part. I need to get this wire of that. So in order to do that, the texture's already applied. I'll apply the unwrap modifier, like so. Open up the UV editor. Select the texture. Now what I should be able to do is go into here, go to poly, select all these polys, like so. Alright, and if I go into here, this one I might have to apply, yep, a quick planner. So a quick planner shows me, oops, looks like I didn't get everything. Interesting. What is all included in here? Let's see. So like I don't have everything included in there. Interesting. Well, let's just make sure I got everything selected, and then I'll do a quick planner. Okay. Must have been a little sliver in there. So now you can see that shape that I need. Right. So now what I can do at this point is actually position this where I want it to go, where I want it. What area do I want it to reside? So I'll just go ahead and fit this up like so. So I want to put it right in this area. Something like this. And I can probably even go up like this. And let's change it like that. There we go. Kind of line it up somewhat with this one here. So that's the area that I would need to build on the texture. Yeah, based on, I can put a post here, put a railing here, and so on. Now I know the angle that I need and all that with having that in there. So what I can do, having that information, I can go into Tools, Render UV Template. In this case, we do have it at a 1024 by 1024. I can render that, and that's going to spit it out over here. Like so. And then I can save that as a wire. So we'll put that right into our working folder here as a PNG. And I'll just name it as wire. We only need that to apply it to our template. That, and I want to make sure that it's on alpha channel. So I'm good with that. And like I said, I've shown this process before, but relatively the same type of deal. So now what I do is I open up that wire. It's my transparency, and I'll apply my alignment blocks to it. Per required, I guess, by PaintShop Pro. I do know, like with other paint programs like Photoshop, you don't have to apply this step. It'll already conform to whatever texture you're trying to apply it to from one to the other. But it is a necessity in PaintShop, at least anyway, to have to apply these alignment blocks to ensure it's going to stay in that conform of the 1024 to which I'm trying to transfer it to. So if I do a copy at this point, I need to back this up to get the layers back, and then edit paste this into a new layer, and that's exactly where I placed it in the UV editor. Okay, so now I can take out those alignment blocks. And I made it the same color as the magentas, so obviously it's not going to show, but I know they're there. So I'm just going to select those and spank them out. Now that I know that's in the right position, now I can build my texture based on that wire of that. And I can do that by going into this layer and picking out the pieces that I want to use to build this. So I don't need this anymore. And this is probably about where I'm going to leave it off once I get this done, because I am getting super hungry. super hungry. Alright, so what I'll do is I'm just going to steal some parts here, I guess, off of this. Like so. And paste these over here. And I'm going to stay within the confines of that wire, obviously, as much as possible. Okay, so there's that post there. And let's see, let's do edit, paste as new image. And we'll kind of rotate this. I could do that with a deformation, but I don't know. I get into the habit of just creating a new image and just doing it this way. I can do it with right within here if I wanted to, with by way of deformation, but I guess I don't know. So build this, just basically build this up here. So I'll put that here, and I will create a selection by take the lasso. Cut off what we don't need there. So, okay, so I'm going to take this again and we'll put this on an angle. This is probably where I'll go ahead and use the deformation. So if I do an edit, paste, new selection, and I'll apply deformation. And then with this one here, I can do a rotate. Just got to find it. Should be right there. So I can just rotate this a little bit. A little bit more rotation. Trying to find my little handle. Oh, there it is. It's way down here. Come on. Give me the handle, darn it. Oh, for crying out loud. It's right there. Jeez, oh Pete. It's right there. I wouldn't give it to me. Telling you, this little project's giving me a workout today. Okay, probably a little bit more. I don't know why that's being so difficult. Oh, for crying out loud! Well, you get the idea anyway. I won't. It's right there. I don't know why it won't give me the. The heck? It's being a pain in the butt. Anyway, you kind of get the idea how you would build this then anyway. So I'll just leave that one there. That's fine. I'm going to get out of deformation. I can always clean that up afterwards. That's probably another reason why I guess I don't use that deformation too, because sometimes it doesn't want to rotate, you know, as far as hovering over that handle, I guess, to be able to rotate it, and just doesn't want to do it. So I guess that's another excuse, as far as I just do it outside of it like this. So if I go image, rotate this one now 90 degrees, copy that. So if anything, that's probably one of my excuses as to not doing it that way. It doesn't want to cooperate. Now the fact that I have that variation in texture there is probably not a big deal. I mean, I can always clean that up later. But I'll go ahead and clean this up. Okay. And we're just basically building around that. Yeah. So now I can create, based on this angle. In fact, I got a better idea. Let's do this. Let's do this for a second. Back step here. I want to get this piece. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And then I'm going to do an edit, paste as new selection, and get this angle here. Like so. You can really see how much that's off. The fact that it will not give me... Oh, that's weird. I wonder why that gives me such a bigger one there. That's interesting. Yeah, this handle made it a lot bigger. Interesting, okay. Yeah, does need to go more. That's better. Something like that. This will have to cut off. This is the wire right here, so this noise here I don't need. Let's actually cut that off. That we don't need. We actually need a little bit more here, but that's okay. Paste as new selection. Hopefully you kind of get the idea anyway. Hello? Okay. Oh, I kind of hovered over that. Okay, so I wonder why that came up. So I got these overlays here, I guess, from my layers and stuff like that, so kind of pointing over the top of that. So that's pretty much... We need another little piece in here, but other than that, I can probably... Here, let me try something here. Let's do this. Let's do this. So we got a little bit of fuzziness on there too. I'll probably have to clean that up. Otherwise that magenta is probably going to bleed through. I can clean that up pretty easily. What I'll do here is do a clone. Shoot. Let's see how big do I got that. Yeah, we'll do a clone here. We'll just fill this in like that. And then what I'll be able to do, since I already know that's going to be a case, I'm going to do an eyedropper and just select that there, and I'm going to draw a line and shrink that up a little bit. I'll make it about probably 4. I don't want to put the anti-alias on it, and then just draw a line. Oops, I got it on free line, that's why. Let's do it as a single line, yep. Because I already know that's going to be an issue. Man, I don't know if I like that. I might have to make it a little bit smaller, okay. Let's make it 1. And I'm just going to hug this edge. Oh, so I can probably make it 2. All that's going to do is just clean up that edge so it doesn't bleed the magenta. There we go. Just like that. Look, didn't quite get that in good enough there. There we go. That's about the only place I can really see it. If there's any other areas that do bleed, where the magenta bleeds through, I'll have to do the same thing. But see, now I've got that area for the stairs, as far as each side of those done. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea. So I'll have to build on that for next time. I have to apologize, folks. I know there's a lot of hang-ups, I guess, as far as trying to get the model constructed and what have you. I do apologize for that, but we're on the way, I guess, of being able to get it done now, as far as just constructing the texture, applying that texture, I guess, to the model. I hope that something in what you got out of it, you know, there was a takeaway, I guess, as far as like what you would necessarily have to deal with if you run into that same type of problem. I'm still a little baffled as far as like some of the issues I was having to deal with tonight, as far as like why those happened. The only thing I can conclude is it's probably had a lot to do with how I was doing the vert snap instead of just you know, copy pasta the coordinates of the verts into each other to ensure, I guess, that they're going to be in the location that I needed them to be. That's the only thing I can conclude. We do have the model where we needed to be as far as dimensions wise. We're right in that realm, I guess, as far as where it needs to be. As far as applying the texture to it, that's about the only thing that's left. And then once that one's done, we won't necessarily be able to apply the same texture to the other stand that I showed earlier. I think I still got that picture up. So we got this stand on the outside as well. We're working on the one on the infield, but this this outside stand is relatively the same type of structure. Just the model will be a little bit different, but the texture we should be able to apply it the same way, and probably even be able to use the same texture. So being able to kill two birds with one stone, that's a potential there. So that's what we'll continue with next time. For next time, I do appreciate everybody's stop by as far as to participate in this early rendition of Spline Design Studios Saturday. Since I will not be able to stream Saturday, I decided to do this one, I guess, to kind of make up for it. So I'm not leaving anybody out. A lot of things accomplished, really. I feel like that. I'm gonna go ahead and save all this jazz, just to kind of save all my work. Get all your last shots and slots and risks and whatever. Check your fluids, make sure they're sufficient. Feel free to do so. I'm just gonna get things saved up here. Again, I can't thank everybody enough, I guess, for dropping by for the early rendition for Spline Design Studios Saturday. Appreciate it very, very much. Again, the only thing I can hope for is that you had something to take away from it, and can't thank y'all enough. Everybody's just checking their fluids. I'll just leave that all going. I'm gonna actually just go ahead and end the stream. Feel free to stick around, I guess, for the host at the end of the stream. Number one, I need a bio break. I need to go use the restroom. Very much so, and I need to get me some foods. So yeah, I've got those two things working against me, I guess, at this point right now. So yeah, feel free, like I said, to I'm gonna do a quick host once the stream ends, and feel free to stick around for that. I do, again, appreciate everybody for stopping by, and I hope to see you again next time very soon. I don't know what my schedule looks like, I guess, after this weekend. I will keep everybody posted. Feel free to hit the follow button to get the notifications when the stream goes live. Also, feel free to check out the socials. Coffee can. I probably not there. No bucket. Nope, sorry. Doesn't work that way for me. I wish it was that simple, but feel free to check out the socials. I always type that wrong. That's always my fault. But check out the socials. I got the Discord, the Twitter, and our Spline Design Studios Facebook group page to get all the information for what's going on in between the streams, as far as especially what happened for the start of this stream, as far as having an early rendition of Spline Design Studios Saturday. I feel like I've accomplished everything. So yeah, with all that being said, I hope to see you all again next time soon. Bye for now.